the camera problem fixed, stupid video
First time's the
drivers.
charm.
It wasn't the first time, not even close. Hello,
Not even the
Twitch.
third.
We are live. Welcome back to the Forbidden Lands, the Hanging Stone Session 9. When last we left our heroes, we are in the town of Amber's Peak, which sits at the foot of a mountain, and in that mountain is a castle, and that castle is covered in fire. The party arrived in the town, learned a lot about the local culture, did a little sidey quest, killing a fire-breathing boar in the countryside, and they were rewarded with a treasure map, telling them to travel far to the north, to an ancient burial ground called the Vale of the Dead. They learned a bit about its history. We also attended a ritual to the god of volcanoes' horn, with dancing flames and all kinds of creepy things happening. We met someone claiming to be a daughter of Marigal. And we also had a goblin put on a stage fight and make a friend who everyone seems to think is crazy, but who insists that there is an angel of the god Horn trapped inside the castle. With that, let's all say hello.
Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Let's kick us over to...
It's okay because there's this phenomenal background music provided to us by the lovely Sirenscape.
To say background music, it sounds like people just sort of talking in the background.
Noise.
Shut up, you're immersed.
I am immersed. I'm playing an NPC.
Oh, that's getting clipped for sure. Hello, welcome to the chat. We have new viewers who have not
Hello,
caught
new
up with the
viewers.
entire campaign. It's actually impossible to be caught up with the entire campaign because I haven't posted the last session yet, but you'll figure it out.
Life happens.
We're happy to have
We
you.
do things.
We'll do it live. Welcome.
Hello.
We'll just reenact the whole thing last session.
Yeah.
Run it back.
Run it back. Session
I'm a
8 all over
goblin.
again.
We're finally getting a
Yeah.
handful of viewers that do not know us all in real life, and we
I'm
appreciate
the druid. Is there anything that you won't steal, Velas?
You get to be the king of the fan club. And no, there's nothing Velas won't steal. She's trouble all the way down.
That was me, right, Hank?
Yeah, that was you.
Yeah, I recognized myself.
I like your English accent. Flawless.
Yeah, mine is too.
Joe's fake
I
English
knew-
accent is very
I
impressive.
knew I couldn't do it, so I just didn't even try.
That's when you just go full Cockney. Just like make it really offensive.
It's Tuesday, isn't it? What you stealing, mate?
In it.
In it.
All right.
When last we left our heroes,
Yeah. Well, we did that thing already. So when last we left our heroes, all that stuff happened, and I'm going to kick us over to the Amber's Peak map.
We have
and
a
we're gonna fix
giant
things up.
boar.
we have a giant boar that
Oh
we
yeah,
need to
you
sell.
killed a big boar last
Yeah.
session. Let's
This puppy's got to be worth at least 2 gold pieces. 5 gold pieces.
7 gold pieces?
I wonder if you eat it, if anything weird will happen.
It's just spicy. It's like
Is this passable?
yeah. It's just spicy pork.
I'd be down for some spicy pork. to
It's
be honest.
pre-seasoned pork.
It's not letting me recenter the map like it's supposed to.
I'm not gonna lie, I'd eat it.
Yeah, I would try. In real life, I would try it.
100%.
Bergello also is
Alright.
down to try it.
I mean, do we have to give the body up? Because that sounds like a lot of food to me.
Ooh, I want a demonic
wanted to
boar
sell
pelt.
We need money.
I need money.
Chat's making lowball price value suggestions, and I'm totally going to listen because, yeah, that's all you deserve. Although half a gold piece is actually a big deal in this game.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
We're
That's
broke as a joke.
We are.
So
This game, gold is hard to come by in this game. A gold is a pile of money.
Not if you heal strangers and they just give you silver for free.
True.
punk ass.
All right. We're gonna call it morning of the next day. Do you all remember? Let's see. We'd gone to the town. You came back with the boar, so it might be evening actually, because you went out
It's
boar
evening.
hunting.
Yeah, we
I
gave
rolled
the
my
guy.
ankle.
Yeah,
We were like, the
Oh.
boar's dead, and the guy goes, "Here's a map," and told us about the place.
okay.
I think it's daytime because we failed the first day and went back out the next morning, and I think
True.
That's right.
so I think it's daytime. Well, unless you're saying like the guy giving us our reward is the end of daytime and it's now evening, but
Chat believes you got underpaid in the Hollows, and
I couldn't agree more. DM,
I couldn't
100%
cough up more
more.
money.
you didn't deserve anything. You just made a mess of that town and then left.
What are you talking about? We
did.
usurped a tyrannical old woman.
And now she's the rest of the world's problem.
That's exactly what I was going to say. We put the loop on everyone else.
Ooh.
She's not our problem, and she almost has been multiple times.
I'm
And we
shifting
left
the
a
audio
totally
track.
sane small human in charge of a town of crazy people.
All right, so
I feel justified in doing everything we've done so far.
Yeah, I feel like we didn't do something terribly bad there. Although it's hard to remember what Mrs. Pollimore was doing that was really wrong.
Everything. Anywho, let's sell a boar.
all right. So
Someone persuasive.
Not
It doesn't
me.
matter. We'd have to have that's like a peddler's talent.
What is sorry, I don't necessarily need to be in a character for this one. What is the profession of the guy who gave us the map? Is he perchance a merchant?
let me check.
Can we have him broker a sale for us? Like, what does he do?
If he does that though, he's gonna want a percentage.
I mean, he'll get us more money brokering for us.
Really?
Yeah.
Or will he get him more money?
Well, fair enough.
I don't know. Not a bad idea, I think.
I can cut his
It's
His
not a bad
name-
idea. It's a terrible idea.
His name was Moyar.
Who is your daddy and what does he do?
Obviously, he's a.
He's a dentist.
Look at me throwing curveballs at Josh again.
Oh, it's no curveballs. This is all well documented, and everything is right where it should be. But you know,
Listen, Zabernat, that's what I was saying.
Stop reading the
Shame.
chat. We're
Yeah.
not supposed to have access to that because
Spoiler.
they can vote on quiet, secret things.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about.
They're
Right
probably
now I have the
voting-
Forbidden Lands
he's a
chat
cook.
up.
He's a cook. Moyar is
He's
a
a
cook.
cook. Damn.
Oh,
never
and he
mind.
doesn't want to buy the boar for us?
Mmm.
You can ask him.
Spicy pork. Hey,
I
how do
can't
feel
thank
about
you
spicy
enough
pork?
for the work you've done. Truly a feat defeating such a dangerous animal.
Literally nothing. Just kidding. It was super hard. I rolled my ankle.
You actually did, didn't you?
I did, yes. My agility is down one. I'm limping.
Do you want to buy the boar?
I bet it would make great meat.
I'm afraid all I had to offer was this invaluable treasure map of ancient historic significance, and that I have little more to offer than that. And what's more, I'm not sure I would recommend eating this boar.
Why? I tried to be really intentional about where I cut it.
The fire-breathing horrors that ravage the land, their flesh is black and tough and knotted and tastes spoiled. I believe there is a corruption in these creatures.
Sounds like it's perfect for curry.
However, you would likely be able to sell his tusks as a trophy. His?
What about its
He leans
hide?
over. Her tusks, huh?
What about her hide? What about the creature's hide? Is it worth anything in leather?
Well, the creature was killed very efficiently with that dagger to the back of the head, so the hide would probably be in pristine condition. It died in a single critical hit. So, with a like semi-ethereal dagger, I don't think there's a cleaner way to kill an animal than that. So, so yeah, you could probably sell off its hide and tusks.
Well, let's drag this thing over to the market area, and
Mm-hmm.
there's got to be a stall with professionals.
I wonder if there's any scholars in town that perhaps would want to do some research on this boar.
That's a good thought.
maybe.
Perhaps
Do we get-
can sell them it.
Do we get what?
I was just wondering, have we gotten any idea on how common like a beast like this is? The guy mentioned like fire-breathing horrors that are around the area. I just don't know if like, is this the third fire-breathing boar that they've seen this month kind of deal?
So there's multiple research questions that have come up at once here. So let's hit these one at a time. I'm looking into the price of hides situation. So give me a second on that.
I think that it's going to be worth mad money.
With an evening's poking around the market and asking, you get the impression that hide is worth maybe about a silver. And the tusks, which are rather massive and scorched black from the fire breath, would make for a pretty cool trophy, and they're going to fetch about a silver a piece as well. So you're looking at getting maybe 3 silver for all of the trophy parts of this animal that you have hauled into town, which probably wasn't a fast process, by the way. Side note, our friend in chat says that you were promised 10 silver each in the hollows for your work and only paid 10 silver as a group. We'll need to verify this, but you might have gotten ripped off by the door.
Brought it up.
I brought it up when it happened. I was like, I'm pretty sure we were promised 10 silver a piece. Here's 10 silver, guys.
Well,
Okay.
you can go back and take it up with your dwarf friend in the hollows. It's been 8 sessions. It's a little bit done deal.
Beard gob.
Beard gob.
You have a cruel DM. So we have. Well, I'll just call this the evening and assume that you're all milling about town, unless people have particular actions they want to do, like spending experience doing things or pursuing any other particular leads. Who's taking the lead on pricing and selling this boar stuff?
I guess that should be me.
Okay.
So I nominate Brigillo.
That leaves the other 3 of you free to take an action of your choice in the evening.
I am going to be so boring and ask Virgillo to watch my backpack, and I'm going to go rest. I'm going to go sleep.
Okay, you're going to rest early. That leaves Grunrock and Ayan. And Ayan, I think you had a research question. What was it?
Yeah, I suppose I wanted to know what sort of academic institutions are here, or if there's anyone studying anything here, or that might know anything more about the changing world that we're in.
Okay. The person that you have spoken to that's going to know the most about town in general is Ager's 7th cousin, who seems to be the nominal leader of Agerville, this central part of town here on the south side of the river. And he'll tell you, scholars? No, you'll not find any great libraries here. But Zertorm himself is a very learned leader. They say he is wise and ancient and knows many things. What sort of knowledge do you seek?
I don't know yet. We have the boar that we just killed right outside of town, and I was wondering if anyone had any more information about the demons of this world or where they're appearing from. And I thought that perhaps this boar could facilitate more information.
Well, with questions of a spiritual or natural nature, I would direct you to the High Priestess, Skylia of Horn. She is the wisest in the town, and the most learned, but I cannot tell you if she will know the answer to this question.
And you said her name was Hylia?
Skylia.
Skylia. Okay, thank you so much.
Mm-hmm. And he can direct you to the encampment to the south side of the road where she lives and operates. She's the High Priestess of Horn of the Galdane clan, which are these sort of older, more authentic-looking tents in the town.
Do I have time? So Bill is trying to sell or Vigelo.
Mm-hmm. You have time to go
It's
talk to
kind-
her this evening if you want.
Well, do I have time before the boar is sold, or any attempts to find Vigelo?
Town's not that big. If you have this conversation, then you're like, I want him to wait. You can go flag him down and tell him not to sell it yet.
Yeah.
All right, for Gello, Ian's going to hunt you down and ask you to hold off on selling the boar because he's doing a bit of research.
What do you think about perhaps seeking out this priestess? I think it's priestess. And getting more information, and perhaps she could use this. We might get a better price for it than in this market.
We can always attempt it. I can't imagine anyone, since there's not like an official library or academic place, any place that would want to buy it for research purposes. And she sounds like more of a spiritual leader, so I can't imagine she'd be able to gain anything from it. But
I think you're probably right, but isn't it worth a shot anyway?
doesn't matter to me. We got plenty of time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do I have like this boar in a wheelbarrow or something? There's no way I could lift this thing by myself.
Sure. We'll say that the innkeep is
Letting me borrow the
welcoming
wheelbarrow
and
for the day.
generous, and he'll let you wheel it around. Yeah.
Thank you, good sir.
Mm-hmm. The Galdanes have been pretty welcoming to you here in town. So, are you seeking out Skylia?
I
Yeah.
don't want to strong arm anyone, but
You get
I'm
your
asleep.
evening task and your evening activity, and your time is not up. So, you head
All
south
right.
to the tents.
yes.
All right. You're going to be. Let's see. You're going to be directed on asking around to one of the large tents to the far south edge of town, and you see a dark-haired woman of large build. She looks kind of like a big, strong warrior woman with silvering streaks in her hair, which is long and straight and pulled back. And she is wearing leather armor, feathers, and scraps and trophies of various beasts that hang on cords around her neck. She carries a huge spear with multicolored strips of ribbons along it that looks ceremonial, and it looks like it has a shining silver tip. And she is sitting in front of a tent where you can hear various prayers and chants echoing in the background from the tent. And she steps forward and she says, "Yes, you have
Skylia.
sought Skylia."
Yes, my name is Ian. This is Vigelo. We came to you with questions about this beast that we encountered. I was wondering if you had any information on it.
"So you are the foreigners they spoke about. Is it true that you slew a boar? Are you carting
One
it
of
with
my
you?"
thoughts-
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've been at the wheelbarrow and everything.
She steps up, looks at it, sort of butts at it with the end of her spear, looks at its charred muzzle. She sort of grunts a bit and then steps back, looking a little bit annoyed or disgusted at it. She says, "What knowledge do you seek?"
Have you seen something like this before?
"Unfortunately, I have. Such things are becoming all too common in this area of late."
Did it come? Did it begin when the blood mist? Oh,
It's lifted.
lifted. Thank you.
"I'm afraid it was more recent than that."
And just boars or any type of animal, the local wildlife in general?
"Hounds, boars, stags. I've heard
But no
tales
an-
of larger things as well."
But no animals that would have been unnatural to this area to begin with. their
"No,
original
but
state.
some that sound like they're hardly animals at all. I've not seen them with my own eyes, but I've heard descriptions of 5-legged things running about, spewing flame out of every orifice. I've heard tales of crawling flames that climb up out of campfires and bonfires and go ravaging the countryside.
All fire related?
She says yes, and you catch that her eyes dart towards the castle, which is shrouded in flame, and she lets out a heavy sigh.
Should we speak more privately?
Yes. She was actually just about to suggest the same thing. That's literally the next sentence out of my mouth.
Yeah.
She'll call you to a small tent, and she's going to ask a couple of her guards to step away.
Can, would my friend, Vigello?
She nods.
Be allowed
He
to
can
do it?
come along
Yeah.
too.
And Quarry, the boar.
I'll watch it.
So, where did you come from?
I've been right behind the wagon the whole time.
Just creeping around all the time.
You mean
the
I've
one
been
that's
lugging this
carrying-
thing everywhere, and you could have been pushing this wheelbarrow?
You didn't ask.
I didn't know you were following us.
Well, that's not my fault.
You didn't hear a slappy goblin?
I didn't hear Slappy Guy. I've been panting this whole time with my strength of approximately 3 points pushing this wheelbarrow.
Well, I'll take over from here.
All right. She's
Go
going to lead you
Talk
into
about monsters.
Grunrock is sitting outside with a wheelbarrow with a dead boar, and everybody that walks by is going,
And when they look at me, I just grin, huge big goblin grin with my spiky teeth.
mm-hmm.
I want you to be like a market salesman. Boar here! Get your boar here! Flaming boar!
If that boar's gone when everybody comes out of this tent, it's going to be amazing.
This thing could feed 4 families.
Mhm.
Probably
Alright.
good.
I can.
Cooked
I can try to
itself.
sell it.
All right. So she's going to take you into this quiet tent. I don't think I have a good audio for this. She takes you into a quiet tent and asks the guards to step away, which says something. She's
Yeah,
asking
yeah.
her own men to step away for this conversation. And this tent is vaguely hazy with smoke. It smells like some combination of ceremonial herbs and pipe weed. And you see little urns with tiny embers in them scattered about the perimeter of the tent with fine-smelling smoke and incense coming off of them. I don't know if they're technically urns if they have incense in them. I think urn is a stricter definition, but so it's a ceremonial tent, and you're just overcome with strange smells that make you feel a bit relaxed when you walk in. And she sighs a bit and then sits down on a carved log on the far side of the tent, invites you to take a seat. I've many concerns of late, but I'm hesitant to even bring them up with my own clan, as I do not think that they see the same dangers that I do in this situation.
Dangers such as...
With increasing severity and frequency as of late, fire-breathing creatures have been ravaging the countryside, killing unsuspecting travelers, assaulting peaceful people, farmers, driving them to hide here in the town. Even here within the town, we've had rogue creatures made of flame go running about, starting fires that must be quickly doused, several tents destroyed. And it seems that flames have been running out of control in the region more and more so over the course of the past year or so, which is about half the time that the blood mist has been gone, by the way. She says, I dare not raise the entirety of my concerns before the clan because of their loyalties, but and she reaches down into her shawl. She flicks you a gold coin that flies through the air, ringing out as it goes. Who's gonna catch it? Either of you can go for it.
I will.
Snagged.
I'm surprised you didn't make him roll for it. That's why I did not. That's why I didn't
No.
want to do it.
He gets to be
Anyway.
cool without rolling any dice this time. It is a crudely stamped gold coin with a not quite perfectly circular outline. It looks quite old, and it's got little bits of dirt and grit and wear and tear on it that have built up over the ages, but you can clearly make out the sideways-looking face of a noble-looking half-elf on the front of it, ringed in little runic symbols all the way around the outside. She says, "Tell me, do you know the face on this coin?"
I inspect the coin and then
Laurel?
lean over and let Bill or let Miguelo inspect it also. Come on, baby. Yeah.
Yeah.
One.
Nope.
Oh no.
He doesn't know what he's looking at. Vergello's like, hell if I know. And you see this likeness and you think that you've seen this likeness before. That this is a coin, a type of currency widely circulated among humans in Elven Spring, dating back to a centuries-old kingdom ruled by a wicked sorcerer named Zygofer.
Yeah.
That's about as much as you know with a single success. So she says, "Tell me, do you recognize this likeness?"
I'm familiar with it. What more can you tell me about this?
The ruler of this town, who resides deep within the flaming fortress, his name is Zertorm. He claims to be the son of Zygofer and his mortal enemy. They say that Zygofer lives and that the Rust brothers worship him as some sort of twisted god in a new form where he is now known as Zyterra.
Well, we're familiar with the Rust brothers. It seems like their evil fingers are everywhere we go.
Zertorm claims to be opposed to his father. He claims that he is gathering these tribes to stand up to his father. Chat says doesn't sound sketchy at all. He claims to be gathering these armies to oppose his father. But I look around and what I see are the same sorts of things that happened to the homeland of all of these clans. Back in old Asleen, a land far to the west, which we had to flee generations ago to escape from the ravaging demons and descending flames that fell upon that land and ruined it utterly, that drove us here. I see many of the same things happening now, and I question, is this Zertorm truly the son of this Zygofer? Or is he Zygofer himself, or one of his aspects, or one of his servants? And I tell you this, neither I nor anyone in this town, nor anyone I've ever spoken to, have seen him not wearing that mask he wears as he rides about on that twisted draconic creature. He rides out, he barks orders, he gives speeches, but never does he remove that mask. And if I could only but see his face, we could see if it matches the likeness on that very coin. And know once and for all if he truly is who he says he is. But both clans have sworn loyalty to him. He speaks promising tales of rebellion and victory against his wicked father, who rules the entire West and who has been a scourge on this land. You know, they say that Zyterra was to blame for the blood mist.
I didn't know that. This is all shocking. I'm not sure what to do with this information. And while I appreciate you sharing what you're obviously concerned to share because you sent out your guards, but what would you like from us? Why give us this information?
I tell you truly, I would not like my clan to be serving some sort of false messiah, if that is what he is. I do not know how it could be done, and I would not ask such a risk to be undertaken by anyone but the bravest or the most selfless of sorts, but I have seen that your group is brave and capable and willing to stand up to the horrors ravaging the land. If one could but rip the mask from his face, it might save a clan and perhaps a generation from following such a false prophet.
Would you need this to be publicly done, or could we? Do you have a painting of the likeness of the person they're claiming to be, or
There are many
should we-
likenesses of Zygofer in the world. This coin is but one. He was worshipped and followed for generations, while he led armies of men and demons across the land. You know, he was the driving cause behind the Elder Wars that saw these lands fractured, abandoned, and littered with bodies for hundreds of years.
I'm sure I did know that.
And he has many followers, and I'm sure there are many places to see his likeness. Carved in busts painted on canvases, but I have my suspicions. And if you or I could but gaze upon his face, we could tell if it matches that likeness or not.
If some brave travelers would be able to do that, what benefit would it to be for them? Would it be to them? I don't know.
What's the question?
You gonna
What
give
would
us
we get?
money?
You gonna give us shit?
She says, yes, I heard you were mercenaries, and I understand.
Broke bitches.
Even such honorable work would not be a sufficient reward, I see, but that is fine. She looks around, she says, my clan has many treasures, many prized possessions that we could share upon you. At the very least, we could provide your entire party with the finest of steeds. Bred from ancient times, those that rode from the very volcanoes of the west, flaming embers in their manes, charging across the lands. We could provide you horses descended from such legendary steeds, and they would serve you well.
Name in my character.
If this would be the sort of reward you would be interested in.
I look over at Figello to gauge his willingness.
It seems like you would want more of a public outing. I mean, even if you alone saw his face, you then have to convince everyone, all of the clans, that you are speaking the truth and aren't just insane, correct?
Yes, but she's promised a reward if you even can unmask him and look on it yourself and tell her, or if she can see it.
Got it. Okay.
So you'll be rewarded either way, but obviously if this was a public display, it would be easier for her to leverage the information and make a case. So I'm sure it would be more valuable to her if this was done publicly, but if it was done privately, it would still be useful information, and she's offered you
horses.
She's offered you horses if you can look upon his face.
She says,
but if you plan to do this, in secret, I might like to attend as well, so that I can look upon his face myself. But I tell you, this is no casual task. The tales I have heard of the castle, they say he has towering servants, half bull, half man, with flaming hooves who walk about and breathe fire, and that he perhaps has even more frightening monstrosities within that castle.
Kind of like this boar.
Oh, but much worse.
I'm not there. Sorry.
Their silhouettes could be. Oh yeah, you're not.
Yes, I'm asleep. My bad.
We'll pretend Joe said that. She says that their silhouettes can be seen patrolling sometimes on the causeways that lead to the burning castle, and that they never sleep. He basically has flaming minotaurs patrolling the causeways and the ruins of the castle grounds day and night, never sleeping, always marching around.
Does he
Like-
leave the castle grounds?
When does he come out?
She says he comes out sometimes for he does come out because he has united these clans, and the only reason that the Galdanes and the Quards she spits on the ground when she says Quards are even in this close proximity without being at each other's throats is because he's united them under a common cause, their common hatred of Zygofer, of Zyterra, sorry.
The Z names.
Yeah.
They both have Z names.
Yeah. Well, there's a reason, because it sounds like they're all related, potentially. But he says he's united the clans against a common enemy. He plans to be preparing for some sort of great crusade, but and he comes out and gives speeches. He has declared strictly that there must be no fighting in the town, and that if there is, he will take punishments into his own hands. He rides about on a huge draconic creature that is named... Its name is obvious.
Celery.
Celery?
Celery?
No, it's not celery or celery.
Is it Zaret?
He rides
Zaret.
about on a wicked-looking draconic mount that he calls Pyravia. He talks to it like it's his child, and it also always wears a mask on its face.
Is the stable within the castle itself?
The stable where Pyravia is?
Yes.
She nods and says that Pyravia lives on the castle grounds, yes.
Ah.
She says that the beast can climb up sheer vertical cliffs, and though it has wings, it has never been seen to fly, and he always rides it into town, perhaps to make a intimidating display.
And he doesn't have any intimidating displays or speeches on the schedule for this week that you know of, does he? Does he come down with any sort of regularity?
She says that she's heard a rumor that the Quards have some sort of religious ceremony that they're planning on undertaking, and that he is rumored to be attending in just a day or so. She says it's some strange new tradition of theirs. They are not loyal to the old ways. Quards. She says with some disdain that they are planning some new religious ceremony that her clan are uninterested in, because it sounds like a deviation from the old ways, and that it's said that he's going to come down and view the ceremony himself, but that she knows a little more than that. But yes, he's supposed to pay a visit sometime the next day or so.
Because one of ours is particularly convincing with certain actions. Maybe that would be a nice public display. Otherwise, a siege on a castle, while exciting, seems very dangerous. That just comes from, the man who's carrying around a fishing net and a lute.
She says, I don't pretend to have a plan in mind, but I do say that if you could achieve such an impossible feat, You would be well rewarded by me and our clan. The Galdanes would be truly grateful, and I would see to it that you are well rewarded. Even without the approval of my clan, I believe this is of such import that I would secretly hand you the horses, even if the local chieftain objected.
Then we will bring this impossible feat up with our fellow mercenaries and see what we can do.
She says, please. She says the same thing the warrior said last session. Do not breathe a word of this to anyone, because few people would believe me.
Yeah, but she sounds less crazy at the end of it. It's like, I've been hearing an angel sing at night. I'm pretty sure it's this girl.
All right.
So yeah, now you've got two different rogues in town that want you to investigate sketchy occurrences, but don't want you to tell anybody about it.
And they're in different clans. The other guy was one of the Quards.
I think he was one of these dudes.
I think he was a
The
Galdane.
Galdanes.
Oh, a Galdane.
Oh, it would work so much better if he wasn't. I would get the two of them to talk.
I see a possible two birds, one stone.
Romeo and Juliet.
I love that she's constantly mentioning the chords and spitting on the ground of her own tent.
Oh yeah.
You look at the corner and it's just like a pile of wet soil, saliva.
It's
Yeah,
the
no.
chord corner.
There's
to
some
the same
corner of
spot.
this tent where she's had a lot of conversations about chords, and it's just spit all over the ground. She's
It's
like,
the
oh,
corner.
I'm
You
so
can make like a
so parched.
snowman, but out of mud.
Oh, God.
She's like, anyway, I need to get a drink of water. Would you like to go back and speak to your group?
I give her back the gold coin.
She catches it, puts it in her pocket.
It has no actual value.
She
It's
looks at
all-
it for a moment, spits, puts it in her pocket.
I join her in the spitting.
Mhm.
All right.
All right.
Let's go back. The
Oh, before we walk out completely, I'm like, oh, I see that you have a handful of trophies around your neck. You wouldn't be
Yeah.
interested in some flaming boar tusks?
very rare.
She's not interested in purchasing them herself. The things around her neck, she will explain to you, are things that she has slain and collected herself, and that they have a holy significance, but she says, I don't think you'll have any trouble pawning those off in the town. There are many
Yeah.
who would like to collect or examine relics of these strange creatures,
Well,
and
this was a
display
waste
them
of time.
prominently.
I understand. Thank you very much for your time.
Yeah,
We will
you
get
didn't
back
sell
to
a
you.
damn thing. This whole conversation was a waste. All right.
Yeah.
All right, let's go back to town.
Yeah. All right. That'll be your evening activities. I think Grunrock is still sitting out there. He's like, that took forever.
Josh, I do want to try something when we go to sell the leather, right? I want to be like, hey, I know you think that this is just regular leather, but think about it. It's a fire-breathing boar. This is flame-proof.
I mean, it could have.
It could
basic
be.
benefits. Yeah.
Okay. You can you can make a persuasion roll to try to get more out of it. If you end up failing, you might get less out of it by pissing off the Galdane traders to the point where they don't want to do business with you on this.
You said persuasion, so manipulation?
That one. I totally know what game we're playing.
It is a game with dice.
Woo! Yeah, buddy.
The man
look
at
manipulates.
Yes.
Do I need to push it? Was that enough?
You'll get an additional. Do you need to push it? No, that's sufficient to get a higher price. 1 per success. You can get instead of 1 silver for each of those 3 pieces, you can get 1.1 silver for each of those 3 pieces. So you net out an extra 3 copper off of it.
Buddy.
So you now get 3 silver, 3 copper instead of 3 silver.
3 silver, 3 copper. I'm just gonna put it in my inventory for now.
You go
Sounds
ahead and
good.
sell those things off. You don't even need to skin the boar yourself because there's lots of experts at that in town. You can sell the whole boar carcass
Yeah, I figured
unless
it's
you wanted to
easier
keep
that
its
way.
bones for something.
It doesn't come with the wheelbarrow. That'll cost extra.
Mhm. All right, so you make your way back to the tavern. I
Mhm.
think Aimee, you started the process for the armor at the start of the previous day. So after tonight, it'll have been 2 full days out of your week. waiting for your armor to be completed.
Sounds
Me and Ayan
great.
regale the tale of this lady.
Well, my ankle feels better.
Chat suggests that you just go straight to Zyterra, and it'll be a fun trip, and everything will be fine.
I
Yeah.
mean, that's my suggestion.
Yep. You lead the way.
Go ahead, chat. Go first.
Go ahead, Chad, go first.
You go after you. All right. You don't
Can I have my backpack back for Gello?
I think it was in the boar.
It's
Yeah,
in
you
the
did.
wheelbarrow.
Okay.
Oh, the backpack was there. I could have gone through it.
You could
Yeah,
have, but
I
you did
wasn't
not.
guarding that. I was told to watch the pig.
I honestly wasn't guarding it either.
Not quite sure why I was told to watch the pig. It's not like it was going to get up and run off, but
You could have.
That would've been
so
fun.
you make your way back to the inn
Mm-hmm.
in the middle of Agerville, which is called the Polished Pearl. And this audio sucks.
Sounds like bottles.
Yeah, I had a
Tipping you each
better.
other.
I had a
Sounds
better
like
audio.
people
there
being
it is.
drunk in an
I
alley.
found it. I found it. There we go. This one. This is the better tavern track. All right. So. Yeah. Quiet, small tavern. There's not a lot of rowdy partying among this culture of people, it seems. Everybody is a bit solemn, a bit serious, and they come to the tavern. Not even a full tavern. It's actually an inn that sells drinks for travelers, and so a handful of locals are sitting down there having drinks. But this is not some rowdy tavern with minstrels performing, etc.
Not yet, it's not.
Yeah. And you're still getting eyed a lot as you move about in here by the locals. There are
I'm
not
going
a
to
lot of
stink eye
foreigners
every one
traveling
of
through
them as I
Amber's
walk
Peak.
by.
Though the world has opened up in the past few years, there's still not a huge traffic of tourists and travelers in most places. Also, the wilds being as dangerous as they are, that's not that surprising. So, you're sitting around the tavern.
right.
How much did it cost me to sleep in that room again? I forgot.
2 bronze?
Copper?
2 copper.
copper?
Okay.
I think so, yeah.
it's
2
already
copper for the
used.
main room. That sounds right.
Okay.
I'm going to be right back in 1 minute. Sorry.
Fired. So, yeah. So, you're staying in the common room of the tavern.
This is the end of the evening time, or is it officially nighttime?
It's the end of evening time and the beginning of
Okay.
nighttime, yeah. So you can decide where you want to sleep, pay what you need to pay to do so.
You said it was
I
2
have
copper?
nighttime plans.
Yeah, two copper.
You have nighttime plans.
Mm-hmm.
While we're getting settled, what do we want to do for while we're here? We're waiting for your armor.
Mm.
We have a couple of days before.
Got 5 more days.
Well, we have a couple of days before that ceremony. You know,
She said it was sometime in the next day or so and that she didn't know the
Yeah.
details of it. She seemed semi-uninterested.
So we should look into that. Talk to the court.
well, do we need? I mean, Velas, you have the uncanny ability to convince people to just do things. You did it with the lady who was trying to con us into being attacked or something. Yes, no.
Yes, I mean, as long as I can get people to talk to me for a minute or two.
So you'd have to have our masked friend to speak with you for a minute.
It doesn't have to be anything intense. You know, if I could just ask him a couple questions, get him to respond to me. I can be incredibly persuasive, but they can't they can't cause themselves physical harm. So if like his face is super attached, I almost said super glued, and that's not a thing. Super attached to the mask, he can't rip his flesh off.
Right.
But if he's just pretending to be someone else, and I can talk to him for a minute, you know, shouldn't be hard.
That's if he'll talk with you.
I mean, I can always lie and pretend to be a fanatic of the religion.
I don't know. What do you guys want to do? We need cash. This lady offered horses, which, hey, that's a great way to get around, even though it's not money. Our other option is just ignoring all of this and getting some kind of mundane job around town to earn some money.
I'm most interested in doing this. I think that I'd like to get to the bottom of the unnatural things that are going on around town and everywhere in the world. And I think that this is a start, especially if the Russ brothers are involved somehow. They've been a plague everywhere we've been.
I'm definitely intrigued, regardless of, who's doing what and why, but seeing all these fire-breathing creatures around, it seems like a good time. Though I am a little timid on storming a castle, sneaking in or otherwise. I'm not very stealthy.
Oh, is that what we're discussing? Storming?
Well, just options in general. I just don't know what if we're gonna try and expose this man in public.
Well, I think that we need to try and go the easiest route first. I mean, sneaking in is not going to be a difficult thing for me particularly, but if he's going to come out, I say try and talk to him, while we can. And then if that fails, then we'll regroup and maybe start a brawl or something.
Yeah, I think that's probably the best option then. So then tomorrow morning, we just go about our day until we hear about this ceremony?
Yeah.
And do you have any more investigating you'd like to do? Should I just go fishing somewhere out in the wilds to try and earn some extra cash?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I guess we'll all have to think a little bit on how to best approach this. I don't think... I'm willing to try the talking to him thing, but I honestly don't know what that's going to achieve.
Well, if
I can talk to him, I can get him to take his mask off.
Yeah.
I'm incredibly
uncanny
persuasive.
Ability of hers. It's a talent, you could say.
The door swings open, and a woman who looks familiar walks into the inn.
Miss Polymore, what are you doing here?
Not her.
Get that bitch.
Oh, thank
no,
goodness.
It's Anatha, isn't it?
Yeah. She's slumping. She looks pissed off. And she's limping a little bit. And she visibly has blood on her hands and fingertips in particular. Her eyes look bloodshot, and she stumbles into the tavern, doesn't look or make eye contact at any of you, just sits down, looks at the barkeep, and says, "Triple." And he says, "We don't serve any hard liquor here." And she says, "3 beers!" He says, "All right. Would you like the ale or that?" She says, "Yes." And she just buries her face in her hands and sits there, tuning out the room, waiting for her drinks.
Did anyone follow her in?
No, she came in, door swung shut behind her. She's sitting alone at the bar.
Any other patrons look interested or concerned?
Surprisingly, no, given that she's bloody and
I'll walk over.
standoffish. You walk over.
I walk over Slappy
She's
Goblin
gone.
feet on my way up
Yeah, I also will go over.
and jump up into the chair across from her. If it's a table or a bench.
She turns away from you and just to avoid eye contact.
If you look like that, I wonder what the other guy looks like.
Totally fine.
Wanna share?
No,
I've got a couple scary stories too.
nothing like what I've seen.
Try me. Trust me, I just want to trade stories. I genuinely don't care if you live or die, and I don't care who your dad is.
Great pickup line.
It's pretty good, really. It's pretty good.
That's what I use at the bar.
Yeah.
I don't care if you live or die, and I don't care who your dad is.
Uh-huh. I mean, it's a pretty great line, really. She says, I don't want to talk about it. You're gonna have to manipulate to get her to open up, or give her a strong motivation that bypasses needing to roll. She seems pretty tired, pretty pissed, fairly injured, and uninterested in sharing her personal problems with a little goblin that she barely knows.
Drumroll. Maybe we give her her space for now.
Arm wrestle?
The barkeep comes and goes, beer, beer, beer. She starts just drinking a lot. She's not that big of a girl, and she's drinking a lot. Her eyes always have just that faint yellowish glow about them.
Well,
All right, I walk away.
Okay.
I guess enjoy your drinks alone, since you want to be weird about it.
That's why I came here, Goblin.
To drink alone in a bar full of really somber weirdos?
Yes.
Well, fair enough. Try not to get yourself killed, I guess.
There's no
Because
danger
I have
of
a
that.
feeling that your dad might come after us. And while I don't mind him,
Come after
my friend
you.
over there.
She turns.
Yeah.
You've got her attention. She says, "Why would my father come after you?"
To be honest, I don't know. That's why we were going to try to talk to you across the bridge the other day.
Are any of
Stupid
your friends
golden-
capable of speaking quietly?
Yeah, everybody
Yeah.
but me, actually.
Then put one of them on your stool.
All right. I understand when I'm not.
I'll jump down and slap your feet back over.
She takes another deep drink out of her mug.
Hey, not you.
And I'll point at Velas.
One of you
I'm
two.
already standing up, like,
One of you two. She's curious why Marigold's following us. And I'm saying not you, because we don't need you talking about your crush. Anyway, I nominate Vergello or Ian.
At this point, everyone in the tavern has heard this entire conversation, but no one cares.
I'll walk over there and sit down on the stool he was sitting on.
The barkeep comes up to Ian and says, "Drink for you?"
No, I'm okay, thanks.
Want to go listen to an angel?
Are you friends of Marigold's? Asks the barkeep to you.
To me?
To
To
me?
Ian.
No.
Is Ian up at the bar too?
Just curious. And he walks off.
Before he walks off,
Uh-huh.
we've encountered him a couple of times, but I wouldn't say friends.
Ah.
Why do you ask? That's so unusual.
Finest musician who ever comes through here. We love having
Oh.
him in the tavern. He always perks up business.
You have not heard my friend Vergello play yet.
Oh, really?
You have.
I don't even know where I'm at in this bar anymore.
No, you're busy somewhere else. This is a side
I had
convo
said-
with Ian.
Okay.
So, Vergello, are you
Bartender
the
heard
one
me
that goes
yell
up?
Marigold's name.
Are you the one that takes Grunrock's place on the stool?
Yes.
Sounds like
Yeah.
Velas wanted to, but everybody vetoed it, kind of.
Velas and I have plans.
I didn't. Oh,
So Grunrock said not you to Veloz,
Yeah.
and she didn't stand up, and he said either me or Ayan, and I had said
Ayan's off
I
talking to the
side.
barkeep.
Ayan said he'd walk back to
Okay,
the table.
Ayan or
That's the number I
Vergello
was
could.
lost.
Ayan or Vergello could go up there and take the seat. Whoever
I
wants
go
to.
over and sit next to her.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
Hello. What exactly is the nature of your business with my father?
I honestly, I think we were kind of hoping you could have shed some light on that. He's sort of been following us.
No, that's a shame for you. She takes another drink.
Any idea why that's a shame for us?
Good things tend not to follow in my father's wake, but... well, he does what he pleases. And if he has his eyes on you, then there's not much I can do to help. There's hardly anything I can do to help myself. And she takes another drink. She asks the barkeep for a rag for the blood on her hands. He nods. Seems
So,
to
here
not.
you go. I pull out a piece of cloth that I'm sure I have on me.
Sure. She says,
Here, just take my fantastic looking handkerchief that I use.
She says, I don't want to ruin anything nice.
It'll get ruined on the road. We almost got set on fire by a, fire breathing boar.
You're living the life in the Ravenlands, aren't you? She starts to wipe off her hands on your handkerchief.
It kind of looks like you've been living a little bit of life this evening too.
You see a teardrop of blood just roll from the outer corner of her eye down her cheek, and she seems to not notice. And it's dripping down her neck and very distracting.
You kind of have a little.
Oh. She's wiping it up. She just looks annoyed.
Is everything okay?
While
What
sitting next to
happened?
her, you also see that she is just covered in daggers. She has at least 6 visible daggers on her person that you can see now that you're sitting close to her.
That's 7 more daggers than I have on me.
You have -1 dagger on you? No.
I have -1 daggers.
She says, it's fine. It happens. It'll clear up in a little bit.
Okay. So what happened?
What happened?
With
What?
you? I mean,
You never answered my questions about my father's interest in you.
I'm pretty sure I did. I said that he's been following us, and I have no idea why. You said that we were doomed to some horrible fate or something.
Has he spoken to you? Has he asked you anything? Has he asked anything of you?
He, I think, at one point gave us some meat around a fire. I learned a song from him. Played it pretty fantastically, if I do say so myself.
She seems to pay little mind to that.
Bill saw him give me the amulet back, right? Bill.
I'm sure he did.
Okay.
He returned an amulet that was offered in payment.
Point that out.
What did the amulet look like?
I described the amulet. I'm sure I've
It was
seen it.
not a. It was not a valuable golden artifact.
No, it was
like
very mundane.
Yeah. But you describe it, and she's like, "I saw him wearing that a few weeks ago. You're the ones he talked about. Are you treasure hunters or something?"
Not very lucrative ones. We're pretty broke at the moment, but sure, why not?
Well, he mentioned that he came upon a group of adventurers and that he was seeing what they were up to. Look, all I can tell you is steer clear of my father. Don't get involved with him. Don't trust him. Don't speak to him. And for God's sake, don't do anything he asks you to do. Understand? Telling you this because I don't hate you.
I'm not getting the impression you don't hate me. I'm more getting the impression you're angry that you asked one of us to come over here and talk to you.
Well, I haven't learned anything useful. Look, I don't even know if he knows you're here, and it's entirely possible that you can keep a low profile and avoid him. But just stay on the down low. He'll probably leave town in a day or two, and you won't have to get entangled in any of his business.
Leave town, so he's in town now?
Yes.
Is that why you came in covered in blood? A
Yes.
little father-daughter dispute?
No. My father has strange powers. He can travel to his children, but she holds up her bloody hand, and you can see the blood just eking out of her fingernails. She says, "It hurts." But he had business with Zertorm, so happy night for me.
Okay, so he possesses you and goes and has a conversation with an old friend?
No, it's not possession. He can travel to his children when he wishes, but it's not a pleasant experience for the children. My siblings and I prefer that he not pay too many visits because it takes a bit of a toll on us when he decides to appear where we are. She takes another deep drink.
This is all very, very confusing. Do you need any kind of healing? I can probably help you out a little bit.
She says the bleeding usually stops within hours, but if you have bandages, it would help. I was hoping to get very drunk before bothering with it too much.
Can I use my Path of the Hymn healing to heal her? It'll only be 1 point, but it'll do something.
She doesn't have a critical injury, but her strength is low because whatever happened took a physical toll. So if you restore a point of strength, it'll staunch the bleeding. Stanch? I don't know the word. And it'll stop the bleeding and recover a point of her strength so that she's not so freaking wiped out.
Yeah, I'll spend a willpower to do that.
Okay.
And I guess with the magic that I do, I don't know if it has to be the same song, but I would play that the Before the Trees song as like sort of the healing magic that I do on the lute.
She
Lyre?
Yeah.
Lyre.
She relaxes a bit when you give her the healing. She is clearly appreciative, and she sounds a little surprised when she hears you starting to sing the song, and you actually get a faint smile out of her, which she seems to quickly fight back down.
Yes.
It's the first crack in her bitter facade that you've seen the entire time.
It's definitely a lovely song. I hope that
Where did you learn that?
A little bit.
She's gonna love the answer.
Did my father teach that to you? Or did you learn it in Elven school?
Oh, definitely not in Elven school. He has been following us for a good while, and I just heard him playing it. It sounded like a lovely song, and I remembered it.
Let's get a perform check just to see how nice your performance is and see how impressed she is.
Last time I tried to perform this song,
there's not an explicit need for a success here, but I want to get a feel for how...
Oh, jeez. I'm going to push it?
You'll take 4 damage to
He's
your
about to go to sleep.
empathy.
I'm about to go to sleep. I'm going to absolutely push this.
In before some encounter causes you
That's
empathy.
That's like a Joe roll. That's like a Joe survival roll.
Go for it.
Okay. I didn't die.
Your performance is terrible. And
I wasn't even trying to do a performance. I was just sort of passively strumming.
She
Also,
recognizes
I now have 8
the
willpower.
song, and she says, "Yeah, that's why you pushed it." She hears the song and she's like, "Just She puts a hand on your shoulder and says, "Just maybe don't try right now. It's late. All of these people want to go to sleep, and they've mostly heard it done better. I don't want you to embarrass yourself."
I'm not afraid to embarrass myself. It was simply just part of the healing magic. I don't control it.
Look, I appreciate the help, and I appreciate the concern, but I've made my way in the world for a very long time, and if it's all the same to you, I'll finish my drink. I've given you my warning, and that's all I can do. And please, don't tell my father that you've met me or come anywhere near me at all. All right?
I have zero issue with doing that.
Can
I
I
have too many loudmouth companions.
Can I ask you one more question?
I heard that.
That
Absolutely.
that raven-haired elf friend of yours over there. Is she
Single? Yes.
Is
I'm
she
sorry. Go ahead.
Is she some sort of professional thief, pickpocket, troublemaker? Is she wanted?
She's professional one of those things, maybe all three. She does tend to have sticky fingers, but it has worked in our favor. She's the one who one-shot that fire-breathing boar, so...
One shot. She says, all right. She finishes off her second beer and starts on the third. She's like, it's been lovely talking to you. And she slowly walks across the room towards Velas, stumbling a bit as she goes. Now more drunk than injured.
So I
Emphasis
like to
on the
speak
single.
with people. Hello.
Hello. She introduces herself formally. She says, I'm sorry that we had such a rough introduction the other day. I was having a bad day, but now I'm having a worse day.
To be fair, I thought you were your father following us still, so I wasn't exactly polite. Lost.
She sort of drunkenly goes, the eyes.
Yeah, it's...
You've caught on.
And to me, he's made himself look like other people, and so...
Oh, he'll do that.
Oh, yeah. He fancies himself tricky.
He is tricky. You should
He
be
does
very
fancy
careful.
himself.
And I've asked your friends not to mention that we've met or spoken, and please keep in mind that he might impersonate me from time to time, and it's best just to err on the side of not talking to either of us. That would be great.
But you came over here to talk to me.
I did. I've heard a few rumors about you, and I'm not with law enforcement.
I am single.
No, nothing like that. Listen, she says.
Very good with my hands.
She's clearly a bit tipsy. She says, listen, I know some folks that pay highly for quick-fingered individuals who can lift things, and if you're interested in that line of work, I can set you up, and I might even get a commission for it. But think it over. Don't say anything to anyone but me. And if I leave your sight, keep in mind that the next time you see me, I might be my father.
Right. Could I have some kind of code word so I'd know that it's you? Something you're likely to remember, seeing as you're a bit...
Do rogues in this game get access to like a thieves' cant type ability, like in D&D? I'm trying to remember.
I've got like a thieves' mark, and
Thieves'
we
mark.
didn't know what that was.
Yeah. Okay. She's gonna dab some blood off her clothes and draw one of the common thieves' marks on her palm in it. She says, let's start every conversation with this. It's the symbol for good drink. It's the symbol thieves etch outside of a tavern that is safe to dwell in and that serves good drinks. She says, let's start every conversation with this symbol. He won't know about that.
Oh, I love starting a conversation with a good drink.
All right. She says, if you're looking for work, let me know. And she downs the bottom of her third. In the time it took to walk across the room and have that brief conversation with you, she finished an entire third mug of ale. She turns abruptly, without ending the conversation in any kind of natural way, slams the mug down on the bar, reaches into her coat. You hear a bunch of jingling. She flings a bunch of money on the bar, and then she goes stumbling out, flings the door open, and goes.
I come back over to our table. Guys, I think my lyre's broken.
I think your talent is broken. He's lost 4 empathy playing that song, or trying to, so he's very frustrated, probably. He's on the verge of a mental break.
Yeah. That being said, I have a lot of willpower.
I am going to watch her leave. I'm going to look at my friends and say, I think it's about time for you guys to go to sleep. Enjoy your rest. I'm going to go for a bit of a walk and enjoy the night. I'm going to stand up and follow her out.
Ian is shaking his head. Are you saying
I don't
anything?
even want to know.
He doesn't.
Going to bed.
All right.
Yep.
Ian goes to sleep. Forgello.
Keep an ear out for angels or something. I go to bed.
All right. Forgello goes to bed. Ian goes to bed. Grenrock?
I'm gonna go for a walk.
The eyes of the night gonna stalk the rogue through town, apparently. All right. The two of them are going out. I'll try to keep things moving a bit since this is only involving a part of the party and other people are sitting idle. So, you set out into the night. What's your game, Velas?
I'm following her. I want to see where she's going.
Okay.
I'm trying to leave some space. I can roll sneak, I guess, if I need to. She's drunk and it's nighttime.
Yeah.
But I don't want her to necessarily know that I'm there.
If you want to tail her without her knowing that you're there, you roll stealth. Grenralk, are you tailing Velas?
No, I don't care about that. I'm going across the bridge.
Okay. Velas. That is the
Yes.
direction that she is headed as well. So the group of you are traveling that way, but if you want to stay hidden, then go ahead and roll stealth. Okay. One success is sufficient while she's drunk and stumbling out across the bridge. She gets to the midway point on the bridge, and she's just looking down into the water and watching it. She seems to be doing some soul gazing. She's just leaning over the edge of the bridge, watching the water flow underneath, slumped over. And you stop on the bridge somewhere further along on the western end, and she seems to pay you little mind. She hasn't noticed that you're there. You're hidden. Grunrock is somewhere behind you. Grunrock, you see Velas stop at the edge of the bridge like she's watching somebody. What do you do?
Walk past her and pretend like I don't know her.
Okay. You go strutting along, and despite making no effort at stealth, you make it to the midway point of the bridge, and Anatha doesn't pay you much mind. She does notice you when you get very close. She looks up, sort of looks back at you, and goes, ugh. But then when she realizes that you're seeming to not be there to talk to her, she sort of relaxes a bit and lets you walk by. You go across the bridge?
Yeah, I'm going across the bridge.
Okay. Velas, what are you doing? You gonna keep watching her while she sulks?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
I'm keeping an eye out, too, for her dad.
Okay. Grunrock, you get to the far end of the bridge, and there is another fire ceremony very similar to the one from last session going on. Same priest giving the ceremony, and gathering of people standing around it in a semicircle watching as the flames dance. You see faces, you see grasping hands and claws reaching up out of the fire. You see a giant column of black smoke, and you hear the sort of tribal music echoing through the canyon that you are in. All right. So yeah, you're on the far side of the bridge. There's a village of tents over here that more resemble the tents on the north end of the west end of town than the southern end of town. Quard tents. The Quards here seem dressed in ceremonial garb and or heavy armor. of a ceremonial sort, and they seem to patrol around this area, and a few of them are eyeing you as you travel to this side of the bridge. You see the huge fire ceremony going on in this hilly area not far from the chasms that lead to the castle. And a lot of people just enthralled in the chanting of the ceremony.
Once I get across and I'm getting close to like the edge of the tents here, I want to kind of get low and get quieter and get as close to the castle gates as I can.
Okay.
I'm listening for some singing.
Okay. The patrolling Quard guards along the road and in the village seem to be eyeing you, so you need to find an opportunity to duck out of sight and then try to sneak your way up the road without them noticing. They do seem to be eyeing you as you travel up the road. So go ahead and make a stealth check. See if you can bypass the patrols and get closer to the castle without them noticing. You don't know explicitly that whether they will stop you or anything, but they clearly are watching you as you travel up the road, so you'll have to duck off and make a stealth check to have them not following you wherever you're going.
And I'm gonna roll it, but after, can you tell me whether I succeed or fail, because I have a talent I might be using here.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Obviously that doesn't pass.
You failed, Hank.
Okay. I'm gonna use my nocturnal talent and spend 3 willpower to make 3 successes.
Woof. What does Nocturnal do? Is it just things at night? Agility
So
based things at night?
Nocturnal says goblins prefer the night and hate daylight, which hurts their eyes. They can see in the dark and are thus not affected by darkness at all. Also, when rolling stealth in a dark or dimly lit environment, you can spend willpower, which are automatically turned into extra X's. You may even roll first and spend willpower after you see how the roll goes.
Okay, so you're spending 3, and you're going up to a triple success, which makes you basically invisible to everybody.
So I went from 8 to 5 willpower.
Okay. The guards are watching you, and then you duck behind a building and pop out the other side, and you see that their eyes just darting around like, where'd that goblin go? And you are well off up the road, leaving the guards behind. You are...
I could have sworn I heard a duck slapping its feet.
I still kind of hear it, but like...
And then he engages goblin night mode, and it's like... Suddenly silent.
I just imagine his stealth as he starts saying quack, 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 quack. And people just like, oh yeah, no, that's just a duck.
Channel the duck.
Goblin night mode, ears go up, eyes get like this big.
Okay, cool.
Move dead silent.
It looks like this castle was once protected by a deep moat and multiple layers of walls, but everything is now dilapidated and no longer particularly functional. There are 2 layers of walls, which you can see in the art there. Beyond those walls, however, the strangely constructed stronghold still looms an imposing shape. Flames and smoke rise here and there, darting up the walls. Most of them are normal flame colors, but occasionally you get darts of flame of blue or purple or green, with all colors of the rainbow. It doesn't look like a drawbridge on the art, but that dirt bridge leading across the first chasm to that gate is a drawbridge that can be raised at. Yeah. Okay. In the description, it's a drawbridge.
Is it up or down right now?
Right now it is.
I love.
It's actually being slowly raised as you approach, because shortly after nightfall it goes up, and between the 2 walls in that strip, you can see patrolling guards. They look like Quard Asleans. And they are dressed in like elaborate ceremonial garb. These seem to be like the higher ranking honor guard sorts. And they are patrolling on the far side, and they disappear out of view as the gate is closing. However, a couple of things. Aside from the tribal chanting echoing behind you, you can hear a beautiful feminine voice echoing out from somewhere in the castle, singing a sorrowful song that is somewhat entrancing.
Is it in any language I understand?
No.
Can I try to memorize? Like, I'm gonna sit here for a second. I want to try to memorize a portion of the song.
Sure, you can do that. It'll be a wits check to recall it accurately in the future if you try to, but we'll make. Okay. Before the gate closes, you can see the second gate beyond it because you're looking along the road here. So there's the drawbridge across the chasm, which they're slowly raising, and you get a brief glimpse into that inner strip between the layers. That second gate has two... Your character may not know this term, but minotaurs with flaming hooves and sparks and flame exhaling every time they take a breath. So you just see little bits of sparks rising up every time they exhale. And they are huge. The ground smolders under their hooves. And they are... they're all equipped with huge, hefty, metal-headed great axes. I say all, both of them. So there are two minotaurs exhaling sparks with smoldering ground beneath their feet standing on either side of that second inner gate. And they are just standing there, leaning heavily on their axes and looking back and forth and back and forth. And you can see that the ground in that middle strip courtyard there is charred black from them patrolling around, it seems like. And they slowly go out of view as it closes shut. But you still hear the distant, beautiful singing coming from the castle. It's somewhat entrancing. It is quite lovely, even though you can't understand the words of it. And even though you can't understand the words of it, it seems sorrowful.
Very sad singing, minotaurs and guards, double gates. Not the kind of place you want to go into. Understood. I'm going to just hang out and keep listening for
Okay.
a while.
Meanwhile, back on the bridge, Velas.
Mhm.
You see Anatha looking down into the water, and at some point she backs up to the far side of the bridge, sits on the ground, and is gazing up at the stars. And she seems to be just drunkenly contemplating things. And eventually she gets up and starts walking back towards your end of the bridge.
I'll start just like slowly retreating backwards, staying to the shadows.
I won't require another stealth roll. She's not being particularly alert or concerned, and she's going to walk past the entrance of the bridge back to the town by the docks and towards one of the houses, which is the same one you saw her enter the previous night.
I'll just like watch her and make sure she gets in safely. And then I will venture in a stealth. If I need to roll a new stealth for that, I can.
As you see her go
stealth.
into the house, there's she
Was that you?
uh-huh.
Or is that just great timing?
It was just great timing.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
As she opens the door to go into the house, you can faintly make out that there's blood on the doorknob and on the ground that has been dripped all over the place. And she goes in there and closes the door quietly.
And there's no sign that anyone else is in the house.
No sign of anyone else that you've seen.
Okay.
You don't hear any talking. You can stalk around outside the house. You don't hear any talking. And you don't see any light. You actually notice a remarkable lack of light in this town at night compared to most because people are hesitant to make fires in their
Invite
homes.
danger. It's fair. They have
So at night it
tents.
gets pretty dark.
Cool. Well, I will use that to my advantage when I know that she's in safely. Doesn't seem as if anyone else is there. I am going to stealth across the bridge and make my way towards I don't know, I guess up to like here, like towards these hills.
Yep. All right. You can walk freely, but if you want to have the guards along the road not notice you, then you can make a fresh stealth roll to go unseen.
Don't see me. You didn't see any.
That'll do it. I'm not
If it
rolling for
won't-
the guards. I'm assuming they just always have one success because there are many of them, but they are not particularly on high alert to anything that's going on. So if you get multiple successes, you can pretty much slink past them without them paying you much mind.
Okay. I was like, 'cause I can push and get a couple more willpower.
That seems to be sufficient. You're traveling up the road and they don't pay you much mind. You make your way up to the... So you see in the hills the fire ceremony going on, or you can go up closer to the castle where Grunrock was.
I'm going up closer to the castle. I'm not really sure where Grunrock went. I know that he went across the bridge.
Since he topped you on stealth, I'm not going to require scouting rolls. Grunrock, you probably see Velas and she doesn't see you since you out-stealthed her. She's creeping up to the edge of the canyon and she seems to be looking around. Velas, you hear the same singing that he did.
Yeah. I was listening to see... I was listening for the singing. I wanted to know if the guy was crazy. Jesus Christ, what was that?
That was supposed to be a creepy castle approach. And it started with a boom. I don't know why.
My heart.
That was a changing of the guard for the Minotaurs. They like slammed their axe.
You see sparks rise up from the other side of the walls.
These things write themselves, man.
This is actually a track called Haunted Castle. I'm all about it, but I don't know why it started with a sudden drum beat.
It's the door slamming shut. Now you're inside the haunted castle.
I'm inside the haunted castle. Where's Googie when I need him? I don't see Grunrock.
Grunrock can reveal himself to you if he wants to.
Are you being creepy hidden, or are you revealing yourself to me?
If she... I don't know if I can say something like this, but like, if she looked around in my direction, big, like, reflective, glowing eyeballs.
If you want to try to make her notice you can. You don't have to.
Yeah, I'll just, like, hit a rock on the ground and make it kind of bounce across and then be staring directly at her. So
you hear a click, clack, click, clack, click, clack from one direction that startles you a little bit, and then you look in that direction and you see two shiny, creepy goblin eyes off in the dark that then look vaguely familiar.
Please be Grunrock. Grunrock, stop being fucking creepy. Oh, you don't really know how to talk at a quiet level, do you? Well, your friend's not crazy. I hear the singing. Have you seen Zygophers or Torm? Anything like that? Oh, you... Elves? Hammer? Dwarves? Do I know what Minotaurs are, Josh?
Yes.
No. Is this a sign for Minotaur? Oh, 2 Minotaur. Fuck. I don't know if that's rare or not.
You've only heard legends.
I don't know how common those are.
You've only heard legends of them, and if you want to know more, you can make a lore roll.
Do I know about Minotaur? How much do I know about Minotaur?
My uncle was a Minotaur.
My grandfather on my mom's side? I don't know.
Sounds like a bunch of bullcrap.
I'm 25% Minotaur on my mother's side.
Okay, Minotaur. I don't really know about those. Maybe Aimee or Verdello. I'm not here for my brains. Have you any sign of Miracle? No. Any sign of anything other than the Minotaur and the creepy music?
I'll point at the flaming castle, and then when the colors, like some different colors happen, I'm gonna be like, "Fire don't do that." Basically, is what I'm trying to say.
Like, look.
Okay. Okay. I'm gonna go listen to the Crazy Fanatics for a while, I guess. We got our confirmation that you're gonna stay here. Cool. If you see Marigal, I don't know, you're good at seeing shit in the dark. Just find me. Don't be so creepy. And I'm gonna, like, turn and kind of slink over to the Fanatics.
Okay. I won't go into too much detail because this was covered in the last session, but it's a very similar ceremony to the previous time with the flames dancing up, and they're saying prayers to their god Horn, who you understand to be some sort of volcano god related to their homeland. And they're saying prayers to Horn, and the flames are dancing up in creepy fashion. The one thing that is different is that the high priest who is leading the ceremony tonight mentions that tomorrow there will be a great and sacred ceremony that the Galdanes are not invited to. Should we find someone to carry it out, and to be alert and to be prepared, because this is a sacred task that Zertorm has entrusted to us as we are his chosen and not those filthy Galdanes. And go back to your homes, be prepared for the ceremony tomorrow, but speak not a word of it to those imposters, and may we hope that Zertorm is able to recommend someone suitable to carry it out. And it seems that the ceremony is winding down.
Did I catch the time that the ceremony will be? Day,
No.
night? Nope,
He
no
keeps
clue.
referring to it as tomorrow.
I am going
He also referred to it at one time as a river ceremony, and at another time as a harvest ceremony. He refers to it slightly differently each time he brings it up.
I am going to expend a willpower and pull a hood up, and as people are kind of dispersing, I'm going to use Path of the Face and make myself look like someone else.
Okay.
And be like, and just try and get more details. Like, wait, I'm just a little bit confused. I don't want to bring that up with him, you know? I don't want to seem like I'm not equally as excited about him coming and this whole ceremony, but like, where is it going to be again? And like,
You
are we
want to
doing
look like
another
a
one at
Quar
night?
Dasleen and blend in with the crowd and ask somebody this? Okay.
Yes, please.
Okay. You find a woman in the crowd, and she's like, I don't recognize your face. Are you new around here?
She should recognize my face, though.
Oh, you want to look like a particular person that you've seen in town?
Yeah.
Or do you want to look like a
Just
generic?
a random. I just want to look like a one of the quartz.
She says, oh, I'm surprised you haven't heard, Belnar. The harvest ceremony is
On conversation tomorrow.
is being carried out tomorrow along the river, the Pearl Harvest ceremony. But of course, Zertorm knows that we are the chosen tribe, and he wouldn't want the Galdanes to get mixed up in it. Of course, you know, it's a showy display,
Right.
and so there's no way for the ceremony to be carried out without them noticing and knowing about it. But
But are we doing it at night again?
no. It will be done in daylight, as foretold. But
That's what I thought. But then we've had these last few church services at night.
have you been drinking, Belnar?
It's hard to stop.
All right.
You
Well, look, the ceremony will be carried out at high noon.
Ruin this woman's life.
The ceremony will be carried out at noon. And
Yes,
if
of course.
someone suitable can be found, you know, it was expressed that perhaps outsiders or visitors to town that are a member of neither tribe should carry it out, so that so as not to project favoritism, even though we know very well who the master sides with in the end.
Oh, of course.
We must
he
keep
will
up
side
appearances.
with us, right? I mean, there are 4 new mercenaries in town. One of them's a goblin, and I think there's like a full elf among them.
It
It's
would
wild.
hardly be wise to let a goblin carry out such a sacred ceremony. An elf?
No, I completely agree. A full-born elf, and I hear that she killed that fire-breathing boar all on her own.
I hear that elves have very strange habits and customs. Personally, I don't trust them at all. But I suppose an elf would be better than a goblin to carry out such a task.
Well, I mean, of course, anything is better than a goblin.
And of course, I've heard about the goblin and the elves in town. They are a very strange group. Many rumors about them abound. But perhaps he will choose them. Perhaps he will not. I think we can only find out when the high priest gives his declaration. But should they be chosen for such a task, of course, we will play along and keep up appearances so that the Galdanes can think that they are included.
You would think by now they would know their place.
I don't know how much you've heard about the ceremony, but it sounds like a fine time, and will surely increase the bounty of the pearl harvest.
Of course. I'm looking forward to it.
Perhaps drink a little less next time so that I don't need to repeat everything to you.
I think that's great advice, and I'm going to start first thing tomorrow, but I'm going to get very drunk tonight and not remember this conversation. Have a good night.
Your wife is going to be so disappointed in you. I really thought you were past all this. All right, so you go slinking off. She's going to go a different way.
Yep, I am going to go. I imagine it's getting close to morning. I'm going to. No?
Not close to morning yet, but we can fast forward if you want.
I mean, I'm just going to keep my eyes out for Marigal, and I'm going to go back to Anatha's tent and just, like...
She has a house, not a tent, but yeah.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. I'm going to keep an eye on, like, her house from, like, a shaded spot and just kind of watch it to see if Marigal shows up.
Okay.
And that's what I'll do for the rest of the evening.
Okay. You do that, and he doesn't.
I'm going to stay close to the castle until I can tell that we're probably about an hour and a half off of daybreak, like when night starts to move towards getting brighter, and then I'm going to scoot back across the bridge.
Okay. You spend the majority of the night watching the castle from a distance, and at some point in the night, the singing will stop. And some short time later, you're going to hear sounds of lustful consorting echoing from the...
Damn! And I left.
Is there a button for on that for Sirenscape?
No. From the castle that echo out over the chasms and over the castle grounds, but that you are just faintly getting from where you are right at the edge of the cliffs. And they carry on for quite a while. And you're willing to venture that they are the same voice that was singing. And then they stop. And then a few minutes later, the singing resumes.
Still sorrowful?
Yes.
Oh, man.
The context of that just changed. Okay. Got it. Yep. Sneaking back.
Shortly before dawn, the drawbridges start to tick down just when you're thinking about leaving. You can bolt and just be out of there, or you can hang around and wait. Up to you.
I don't want to be close to it when it comes full sun. Can I back up towards the tent village and then kind of look back in the direction and see if I can see anything?
Yeah, you can watch from a distance while stealthing.
Yeah.
You will need a fresh stealth roll here.
Fresh stealth roll? Okay. And it is no longer full dark.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't think Nocturnal will work. Not sneaky enough.
Or at all.
All right. You're ducked among the rocks on the side of the road watching, and the drawbridge comes down.
You're doing the Tony Chopper hiding.
Yeah. Hanging out the back way trying to hide.
A half-elf.
One eye.
A half-elf, quite handsome, comes walking across the lowered drawbridge. He has a lute swung over his back, and he looks a lot like the Marigal that you met in the hills, but a little less glowy and celestial and a little more like an ordinary half-elf with the exact same face, yellow eyes, and dressed as a common traveling minstrel. And he is walking down the road, pauses for a moment, looks to his right, and says, Grunralk?
Yeah, that's pretty close.
And I'll stand up from behind the rock.
Hello.
He looks around. He sees the Quard guards patrolling down in the village and along the bridge and watching along the road. He sees you ducking behind the rocks.
I'm just like this much up from the rocks. Like, I'm eye contacting him, but I'm like still kind of low.
He just goes, Are the rest of your friends in town?
No. Left him out in the wilderness.
You got to roll for that.
What is that? What is that? What would that be?
Manipulation?
Oh, this is gonna be bad.
Of course, I'm looking up Marigal's insight roll this session. You know,
Hang on a second. You know what needs to be the thumbnail for this one? Is just Drumrock's eyes above the rock.
No, like I don't look at the the group message. It's just the one eye hidden.
Let me see.
It's the whole body out, just one eye.
I didn't get any successes or fails.
You could
I mean,
always
I guess
push it.
I could push it. I could push it.
It's up to you.
What's the worst that could happen?
He'll be broken and not useful in the ceremony.
I'm gonna push it.
Go for it.
I got the same roll.
Is your dice are broken? You're not.
Marigal's got a lot of insight. So you said no, and he goes,
Yeah, I said I left him in the wilderness.
Shame. Awful shame. Good seeing you. And he continues walking up the road.
Good luck.
Don't need it. And he keeps walking up the road.
I don't know, wait like a minute or so,
Uh-huh.
and then just start like walking up the road behind him.
Okay. As he goes walking up the road, one by one, the guards are nodding at him. Hello, hello, hello. The guards catch sight of you following him up the road, and they're like darting back and forth to each other. And they're going, what is this? Oh, I see him. Do you see him? And Marigal raises a hand and says, it's fine. He's a friend of mine. We're just out for a stroll. Isn't that right? And he turns back to you.
Yeah, just going for a little walk. He's just got really long legs and doesn't want to wait for someone like me.
The guards nod and they say, of course, of course, of course. And he seems to have the clout to just be able to talk you right past the guards. So they pay you no mind as you walk along. He goes walking across the bridge, straight into the heart of the village. And when he gets there, he's going to head for his daughter's house.
I'm gonna head for the inn without saying another word.
All right, you get to the inn. We're all reconvening. It's morning.
I'm not. I'm outside his daughter's house.
All right. Well, you see a yellow-eyed bard who very closely resembles the angelic figure that you saw in the hills, with his intense angel facade toned down a little bit to look more like an ordinary person. And he's walking through the town square towards his daughter's house. Do you want to stay hidden from him, or do you want to be visible to him?
I'll be visible.
All right.
I'm just chilling. I was in like a spot like watching the house for a while quietly, but I imagine now I'm just kind of like sitting or leaned up against the tree.
Okay. He's walking towards his
Watching
daughter's
nothing.
house. He pauses for a moment, goes in your direction.
Hi.
Hello. It's a pleasure to see you again, Velas.
Is it?
Yes.
Are you following us still?
Can't say that I am, but it's lovely to see you again. I take it you visited the Graveyard of Thunder and returned unscathed?
I did indeed. I am quite skillful.
That's magnificent. You are just a bounty of surprises. He says, it's always a pleasure to see good friends. Here. And he walks towards you and walks up to you until he's just a foot away from your face. Very calmly the whole time.
I can't find his lover's name, and I know that I have it in my notes.
It was Viridia.
Viridia.
He walks up until he's face to face with you.
I'm going to say, I mean, I'm no Viridia, but I've got my own abilities. Contrary to how I might appear.
His face changed straight up.
Yes. Good day. And he turns and walks away. Whatever he was about to say, he abandoned it and walked toward the daughter's house, opens the door, closes the door, and goes inside, leaving you out in the town square.
I was going to say something before he closed the door. I mean, I still will. I'll just say, Marigold, I'd like to get to know you. I don't trust you. And if you confuse me with Viridia, it's going to confuse any chance of us understanding each other. You owe her some money for her drinks. I'm going to turn and leave.
He looks very serious and straight-faced through that whole exchange. And then after you walk off, he'll go into his daughter's house and close the door. You're back to the tavern. Let's reconvene the party and decide what we want to do. We got time to do another round of stuff this session.
What a great night of sleep where absolutely nothing terrible happened. We didn't it's good to have a good night's rest after getting just a little bit of cash of killing a boar.
I agree completely. That was a wonderful night. Uneventful.
I found a way to make more money.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure if it has to do with stealing or pleasuring people, but I'm open to either.
Mine definitely has to do with stealing, and you're not gonna like it.
Okay.
We heard the angelic voice of the woman. She's there.
I'm going to assume you all find a private place and have these conversations.
Oh, yeah.
Nope.
Totally.
Dead center, like right outside.
Center of the bar.
Yeah. Right, like we're all standing on top of chairs.
Yeah. Let's proceed with the sync up, sorry. You may want to go outside the tavern and have these conversations, is all I'm saying.
Yeah, wherever we can go for a private conversation.
Go outside, you go out into the little rocky fields, like next to the river, where there's no people around, and you sit and have a conversation in the morning.
We need to roll for drink or water.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. You gotta do that.
Yep.
Or are we in the tavern? So we're covered.
You can pay for food there if you want, or you can just roll on your dice.
No, I'll just roll.
It sucks to sit in a tavern and eat trail rations, but when
we're next to a river, do we need to roll for water?
No. Don't bother rolling for water. You're all at a D12 until you leave town. Just roll for food, unless you want to pay for food at the tavern.
Dude, I keep eating all my food. I'm down to D8. Gromrock and Velas, do you both share everything?
Dahlia's gonna join you.
Oh yeah, Dahlia!
I thought that's where Gromrock was going. I thought he was looking for her.
Yeah.
The little.
You mean
she did spend a lot of time poking around town.
The little creep.
She's been in the background, but she's here, and she'll join you for the group powwow.
Well, I'll let her start. I have a feeling hers is going to be more important.
Who? Dahlia?
No, I'm gonna point at
Yes, what is Dahlia been up to?
I am curious.
Dahlia knows all the secrets.
I am curious what Dahlia's been doing, though.
We'll get to that.
I will share. I'll share everything except for my conversation with Marigold. I'm not even going to point out that I talked to him.
Okay.
I will.
So you share.
I talk
that you
about.
followed-
yes, I heard the singing.
You followed Anatha. You heard the
Anatha was really
singing.
upset. She got home safe,
Mhm.
which I'm sure that you guys would love to know.
I don't care.
Tell them about the. I know you don't Grunrock, but the other two have like a conscience or something. The opportunity to make money. What I learned from about when the ceremony is going to be. Ooh, it's going to be today at noon. We're gonna like kind of have that in lock. They might ask us to help perform the ceremony, not Grunrock. And then I came back.
Okay, can we address your things first and then get to Gromrocks?
Yeah, it's fine with me.
Why would we want to perform in this ceremony?
Because Zertorm is going to be there. This is going to be our opportunity to talk with him, to get him to take off his mask.
Okay, but we're not going to try and pursue any other means of taking off the mask today. Because
No.
if we do that, that's going to eliminate the chance of us doing anything else in this town.
Nope. This
Unless
is
we're
just
successful.
talking. Just talking to him.
And then what are we going to say to him?
She's the one who has to do the talking.
How are we going to approach him?
Well, hopefully we'll be asked to help in the ceremony.
Okay, well, if we're going to help in the ceremony, perhaps we can talk to him before the ceremony. So if someone approaches us about performing the ceremony, maybe you have some questions for him? Because is he going to unmask himself in front of everyone?
That's our goal.
That's our goal.
That's the best possible outcome.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what you guys told me. That's what you wanted to happen.
Yeah. I guess I'm,
More money.
Yep. Okay, well, those were my questions.
As long as I can talk to him for a minute or two. I don't know.
But we're not looking to do anything crazy or dramatic, right?
No.
No more than we usually do.
Yeah.
I would say arguably a little less than we do. You were there when I told the people. There's just sometimes I feel like if I say things a little more directly, I can just have people do it. Now, they won't hurt themselves, but just taking off the mask should be an easy thing to do. And it shouldn't get us in any kind of trouble because he could refuse. You know what I'm saying?
As far as my part, I walked across the bridge, snuck through the camp, got close to the castle, and yeah, they're singing. And
And there's the Minotaurs.
the Minotaurs are real. They are real, and they are there.
Josh, do I know anything about Minotaurs?
Lore roll.
Oh,
I don't have a high lore.
I would like
He does.
to.
I was like, Ian does. Come on in.
It's just
Wow,
going
we
great.
we're just not doing.
God damn.
You should do
Nope.
it.
You're saying I should?
Aiden should push it. You got 5 dice. You got no skulls. It seems like an easy push, right?
Do I
Five
just
skulls.
re-roll everything?
Yeah.
You might
Yeah.
lose wits for the day, but how likely is that? Oh my goodness! Look at that. Flawless victory.
No, he's not.
I'm a
One
god.
for
I
each
know
horn,
everything.
maybe.
You don't just know about Minotaurs. You know more than the average person about Minotaurs. You know all about Minotaurs. You're half Minotaur yourself. Ah, damn!
They
I
have
closed one of the
horns.
books. One sec. Misclicked and closed one of the books. There we go.
Mazes.
I dated a Minotaur.
Mazes. Nothing about mazes and what you know. This ain't ancient Greece. This is the Forbidden Lands, and Minotaurs have a whole different origin story. Okay. Here's what you know about Minotaurs. Granted, nothing you know about Minotaurs has anything to do with flaming hooves and fire breath. However, you know Minotaurs to be legendary, semi-intelligent, brutal, flesh-eating crossbreeds of humans and bovines. They operate in small groups. They've been known to ravage the countryside. They are thugs. They are guardians. They are hired and used and and recruited for their brute strength and savagery. And your second success tells you that it is rumored that their origins are that they are the products of demonic experiments performed by
The Rust Brothers.
Tor.
the Lord of the Rust
Zygofer.
Brothers, Zygofer.
Thorn. Zygofer.
The wicked sorcerer, Elven Spring, by the way.
That's what I thought when they
uh,
were saying ew.
Yeah. So
Who said what?
no, the origins of the Minotaur are associated with demonic experiments that are associated with the Alder Wars, which are the series of wars where humans, led by some Elven Spring sorcerers, Zygofer, the chief among them, invaded the land with demons at their side and conquered a lot of the lands that once belonged to elves, dwarfs, etc. All of this goes beyond the scope of Minotaurs a bit, but you know what I told you about Minotaurs, and also that they are rumored to be the result of demonic experiments, fusing together multiple types of life forms, and that they have since been set loose on the world and become their own breeding population. You've never heard a single story about them having flaming breath or leaving behind charred ground where they walk, though. Something else going on here. So these are even worse than what the stories have told you.
I share. The party.
That sounds fucking terrible.
Yep.
Yeah, well,
You think the Minotaurs are going to be there during the ceremony?
Probably not. The ceremony's down by the river.
And everyone knows Minotaurs hate rivers.
The cow hates rivers.
In a
The
van
Minotaur-
down by the river.
The Minotaur
I hope
were in
somebody
the
knows this
castle.
reference.
I don't. Sorry, buddy. They were in the castle. They were just walking around hanging out. I imagine they're protecting this angel, woman, person. I don't think they're going to come out for the ceremony, especially if people don't normally see them.
I think that we need to. Maybe the list is shorter than I'm imagining, but we might need to prioritize things or write things down on what we want to accomplish here.
You all have notepads in Roll20 for the record that I set up for you, and I don't know how much they've actually been used, but I created session notes documents for each of you, so you can take notes in Roll20 if you want to.
I did
Just
not know
bringing that up now.
that.
So
I mean, what I want to get accomplished here is to find out more about the demonic presence and how things of the natural world are getting turned into unnatural things. What do other people want to accomplish?
all I
my
can
armor.
say is there was somebody in there singing, and it sounded like
I'm gonna try to say basically somewhat sing the song back. You said I need to do a wits roll to see if I can remember it.
Sure. Yeah.
Can I also do it?
Miguelo might know this song.
Is
TM?
performance wits or empathy? It's empathy, right?
it's empathy, yeah.
Okay. It's tricky. So, are you trying to remember just the spoken words that you heard in the song, even though they're in a language you don't remember? Because that would be wits to recount accurately. If you want to sing it and have it sound like it did, then that's a perform check on top of the wits check.
I have no faith that Grunrock's sultry voice can sing like that. So I'm just trying to get I'm just trying to get the words out in case any of these no.
Can I also roll that?
Roll what? Oh, yeah, you heard it
Wits
as
or no?
well. So
Mhm.
you can both roll wits to recount the approximate words, even though it was in a language that you don't understand.
I may not be able to sing, but I got one of them words down.
Okay. You're able to recount the main sounds that you heard repeated. Velas
Not
is
me.
not. You hear Velas doing it, and you're like, no, it wasn't like that.
So that was just to recall the words.
Yes. Grenrock seems
you
more
remember-
confident, and he's correcting Velas.
Now,
Now,
do you remember how it sounded? The notes?
Um,
Can you hum us a little tune?
I can certainly try.
perform.
With your terrible empathy?
She just sounds out of tune and terrible, and you're not sure that what she's singing is actually a song or how closely it approximates anything. You're pretty sure that if that's the song that she heard, that it was a terrible song, and that maybe it was actually like a goose being slaughtered or something.
I mean this in the nicest way possible, but your voice sounds like a phantom dagger to the ears.
I mean, that's fair.
Grunrock, do you want to try humming it? Just give me the bass. Give me like the bass notes for it.
Please. This could be your new pride. No.
I never lost my pride.
All right, your tone deaf friends have no hope of recounting the song to you accurately.
I mean, I lost 5 empathy last night, so I don't have any room to talk.
They did the lyrics, right?
Yeah, we at least remember some of the words.
They recounted some of the words, which were in a strange tongue that you don't recognize.
Oh, so we can't do a lore roll?
You can. However, this is a hard lore roll. This is a lore roll at a -2 to the skill value. And that can take it negative and apply negative dice. I think there's a way to do negative dice in Roll20. So if your skill value is 0, the -2 will mean that you have to roll 2 negative dice, and any successes on those become anti-successes. So it's a difficult lore roll. It's a lore roll at a -2.
My skill level for lore is 1.
So it'll be -1 lore die
Okay.
on the skill dice. I think there's a way to do negative.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
there is.
Yeah, so put -1 on the skill die and then add your other dice.
I have a question before my lore roll.
Yeah.
Since this is technically a song, is there any bonus I could get to that? Even if it's just like a +1
This
to
isn't
make
about
it like...
recognizing the song. This is about recognizing the language. So this is just a pure lore roll at a -2.
I was trying to determine whether it's like from a lyric from a song that I have heard or something.
Is the purple die the negative die?
That is the
Yes,
negative
it
dice.
is.
Then that is -1 success. You don't recognize it. You can't place it. It's a bunch of
Yeah.
words that you've never heard.
I feel like that means it's on the tip of my tongue, but I just can't.
Vergello, on
I
the
did
other
it.
hand, got it despite having 2 negative dice. Vergello.
Dang.
A Wonderwall?
Pretty close. This song is some sort of demonic chant.
It is.
This is a song sung in a dark and forbidden tongue associated with the realm of Mog, which is this setting's version of hell. This is a forbidden language, and the words you've heard, you have seen only in writing, and hearing them spoken, you wish they brought a chill to your spine, but instead, when you hear them spoken, they make you feel relaxed, complacent, and it takes your mental faculties to overcome that to the point that you can say, wait a minute, these are wicked words.
So, what are you telling us, Vergello? This isn't a real angel trapped, or this is someone singing their woes?
Vergello, having made a very unlikely lore roll, is like, I'm pretty sure this is some sort of demon song.
So, not an angel.
Not an
Wow.
angel. Well, I could be making a leap here. Maybe this is something to both cow, no pun intended, our minotaur, while also making them demonic. It's an absolute leap. I have no basis on this, but it's a demonic tongue that...
I have one more bit of information. the same voice that was singing that demon speech. Let's just say they had a very good night for a few hours afterwards.
Nope, I'm not following.
Spell it out.
Something in the castle was having sex with that singer.
What did the sex sound like?
I'm not gonna try.
Roll a performance check.
Perform demon sex.
I've heard many women fake it before.
I would have died if you got 2 successes, though.
This took a turn. I can't.
Then it went back to singing that same song. So I don't know if that
Maybe
helps.
That's where Minotaur come from.
I
Demonic Minotaur?
I can't fully expound on this without spoiling things, but I love the way these books address sexual topics because they always say like such and such of an unspeakable nature or such and such of a suggestive nature that shall remain unnamed or whatever. They do that all through the books and it's really funny. Every time I read these things, I'm like,
unspeakable nature.
I get you. And it's pretty funny how they do it.
Oh, and I talked to Marigal and followed him back into town.
Where did he go?
To his daughter's house, actually.
Weird. Did you watch him go there?
Yeah, well, kinda. As soon as he got sort of out of sight, I went back to the inn.
Well, his daughter did say he was here in town, so...
Yeah, he caught me. He's sorry.
Dahlia says he caught you?
Yeah, he saw me. I was trying to hide behind some rocks.
So
but
he
apparently
knows
I
we're
picked
here.
this- He does now.
Oh,
Well, he knows that.
I certainly
Grandma was
hope
here.
he's trustworthy.
I told him that I left you guys in the woods.
I would imagine he would just assume we're all together.
I
can't imagine a town would be as welcoming to just a goblin walking up to the gates. No offense, Grunrock, but there's a lot of
None
the pink,
taken.
the pink flesh, as you refer to us, that are particularly racist against greenskins such as yourself.
That's fair. I did have a hat full of mud when I got here.
It had gold in it.
Well,
It's true.
Wow,
There
we've
we
been
go
here
with
since the
being-
Mud Hat. This is a long time in Amber's Peak.
yeah.
That feels like forever ago.
Marigold being in town perhaps complicates our plans for the
Why?
king.
He
Unmasked
definitely
himself.
came from the castle at daybreak and walked back
Because
to his daughter's
he's
house.
a powerful elf.
Well, why would he try
Marigal,
and...
Marigal.
Josh is like,
Oh, did I type that? Whoops. It's fine. It's
I
fine.
can't help.
You've
I
never
said
seen it
what?
written, so why would I type it to you?
Marigold is a plant.
I know.
and I
It's
say
funny
all
because
the
I saw it
goddamn
first
time.
in writing, and I've watched other streams of Forbidden Lands where they call it Marigold, and it always throws me off. It's funny that it happened here as well.
So what is our plan? I mean, we're going to try and unmask him, and if that fails, are we going to go into the castle?
I say we don't worry too much about that until...
Not so sure
This
it's an
plan
actual
fails.
angel anymore.
We unmask him, and then chaos happens, and perhaps people get violent. Do we stick around and fight the town? What do we do? I mean,
we stick around long enough to get my armor. I had to pay half up front for that shit.
Hopefully they still work on it if they just banned because we unmasked their leader.
You've got 5 days till the armor, but that doesn't mean that we need to roleplay out 5 days. We have story time, so we can fast forward things anytime people want to, and I'll tell you if significant things happen.
the ceremonies.
I've only been
today-
playing this out because interesting things are actually still happening. But if
No,
you want to
totally.
try to fast forward chunks of time, we can.
No, I mean
Well,
the
the issue-
ceremonies today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's still stuff happening.
Wait,
Yeah.
Let's
Dahlia.
say we stop dicking around and we just do the ceremony and we try and unmask him. Fuck
Let's
it.
just do that.
Before we jump to noon, Dahlia, where the hell have you been? What you
Yeah,
been
and
up
how
to?
did you know that Marigal saw me? You knew he was here? I know I said it, but she seemed like not surprised by him being here.
Wait. Dahlia seemed not surprised by him being here?
Yeah, you seem
think-
surprised I got caught. Not necessarily that it...
No, I just
He was
I
here.
had a strange feeling about him from the hills, and I'm a little uneasy about him being in town and knowing that we're here. I don't know.
Oh, well, that's fair.
You know what's fucking annoying? Is Dahlia's name is the name of a plant, and Marigold's name is the name of a plant. I'm just
Leave
like,
it to the party botanist.
To be fair, the best horse in the game was also named Carrot, and the guy who owned him had a sister named Celery.
No, celery is not a thing. You can't make celery a thing. Stop trying to make celery a thing.
Celery is a thing!
No.
It absolutely is a thing.
Clip it, Aimee.
Chat,
All right.
chat, vote. Is celery a thing?
No. Chat's been very quiet tonight. We had a very chatty
Lively start.
we had a very chatty watcher at the beginning, and then he logged off. So
It's okay. He'll come back later.
yeah, he'll watch
Celery.
this on the recording. We love you. Come back.
We love you. Not to be
So
creepy anymore.
right. Couple of things. So you were questioning Dahlia, and she was
Yeah.
like, I didn't know he was here. He gave me a weird feeling, and I don't like knowing that he's creeping around, knowing that we're in town, but I guess it is what it is now.
Yeah, sorry. That's my fault.
She turns to Ayan. She turns to Ayan. This is totally an Ayan thing.
That one.
She says, Ayan, do you know about Pelagia? You've heard of this. You don't need to make a lore roll because you are an Elven Spring Druid. You know that this is the home city of the central and most powerful and significant order of Elven Spring Druids.
yes, I do.
You've never visited it because of the Blood Mist. She says, did you know it's not
never.
far from here, along the coast? This came up in conversation. I guess it's a little ways north along the coast, and the order of the... What are they called?
Phoenix.
The followers of the Shard Maiden or whatever are headquartered there. All I know is that I heard that there's a city full of Elven Spring Druids nearby along the coast, and I know that you're an Elven Spring and a Druid, and I wondered if you had any interest in going there, or if you knew that it was close by.
Did I know that it was close by?
You know that it's somewhere along the eastern coast. You didn't necessarily know that you were close to it right now. It's actually the sort of headquarters of the order that your master was trained by. It was never an option to go to it before the Blood Mist lifted.
I wasn't necessarily looking to go there anytime soon, but it is interesting that you've brought it up now. In what context did it come up in conversation?
They were asking me who I was traveling with, and when I told them, someone asked me if we had come from there, because that's where all of the Elven Spring Druids are operating out of, and I told them that I didn't know. I thought that you came from the forest.
I do. The person that mentored me came from there, but I've never had much thought to going there until now, I suppose, with the Blood Mist being around us.
She says, well, I just heard about it, and I thought you might be interested to know.
Yes.
Maybe we could pay a visit to your master's masters, or...
Oh. Yes, that sounds very interesting. Thank you.
It's called Pelagia, Pelagia. I'll type it out. But, yeah, you've heard of it. It's a city along the coast that is the holy city of your druidic order.
Neat.
There it is spelled out. All right, so was there other things you wanted to discuss right now, or do we fast forward time a bit?
I think we can go to... I thought that was penicillin.
Marigold, penicillin, celery.
Carrots is canon.
Everything's botanical. henceforth.
Yeah, let's fast forward to midday. I hope that
We don't need to fast forward to midday because something will happen before then. It's early morning when you all sneak off to have this conversation, but eventually the high priest who gave those fire ceremonies on the opposite side of the bridge is going to come walking down the road looking around, and he's going to lock eyes with your party and deviate from the road and come straight towards you like he has a mission.
We have a guest.
Yeah, I think he's gonna do what I told you he was gonna do.
This guy looked very imposing when he was standing on top of a rock giving a fire ceremony, but seeing him in broad daylight just marching down the road, you realize that he's a little short and has a little bit of a ratty he's partially balding and has sort of ratty scraggly hair. He's very small and scrawny compared to most of these Rohirrim that you've been hanging around with in town, and he has a little iron hat with a pointed spike on the top of it, and he's going to come marching over to you with a sense of purpose. And I hope that the description I just gave offended a lot of people for a lot of reasons.
Okay, let's stop typing in chat.
Can chat see that?
Yeah.
I love it.
The farther we get into a session, the more off the rails these people get. All right.
You knew this when you hired us.
It's literally my job description before the game started.
So he walks up to us
Yes.
aggressively.
He says, "You there, outsiders?
Insider.
Yes.
You stand before Pelacus of Horn, High Priest of the Quards."
I'll take my hat off.
Yeah,
He's a tiny little guy. He goes, "You may bow if you wish."
I'll take my hat off and kind of wave it and then put it back on my head.
I do not bow. I just stare at him.
I nudge you.
Yeah. I also don't bow.
Did she hear me? You may bow if you wish.
No, I heard you.
She doesn't like to bow to anyone. And I'm already short enough, so.
Very
Yeah,
well.
was there something you needed from us?
Yes.
Hi. Hello.
Yes. I come to you with a special commission from Horn himself, the god of the volcanoes.
Should I guess it? Do you want us to participate in a, I'm feeling, holy ceremony?
He has come to you in a dream, has he not?
Yeah,
He also-
definitely.
He
He came
also
to all of us in a dream.
He also offered us a gold piece each for partaking in this ceremony.
He said that the priest who came would come with the riches and that he would give us this commission to take part in. And we were to
Mercenaries.
accept.
He starts to turn around to walk away.
Oh my god.
You are not
Okay.
fit to carry out such a holy task.
Come on.
Look,
Look, it's a bit of outsider humor.
yeah, the gold pieces were a joke.
It's just one gold piece between us. That's what it said.
What were you here to tell us?
The ceremony.
The joy of
actually,
serving the horn is all we
Not-
need.
I already am filled with regret.
Why? He came to us in a dream. It's like divine providence or
Grun-
something.
The man speak.
Vigil of the last bow to the man. Let's start over. Okay. Oh, bow.
I do not bow.
Thank you. You honor Horn. Now, let's get down to business. Mercenaries. There is a holy ceremony that must be carried out. A new holy ceremony that was brought to us by the prophet of Horn himself, Zertorm, who resides in the holy castle of fire.
Oh, yeah.
However, with his infinite wisdom, he has proposed that this ceremony should be carried out by outsiders so as not to show favoritism among the tribes, even though he certainly has his leanings in this little conflict.
Yeah.
This is where
It's obvious that it's. Go ahead.
It is a holy ritual of thanksgiving that is to be performed annually, beginning now and henceforth, to honor the bountiful river harvest, and to bring Horn's blessing upon it. Do you wish to know more, or have
I'd
I
love
said
to
too
know
much
more.
already?
No,
No.
I'd love to know more.
I would love to know more. Let's walk and talk. It's going to be by the river, you said?
I'm afraid we must stay out here so that the Galdanes do not overhear.
Hey, you and I just in unison.
I like to think the fact that you two standing next to each other turn towards each other. Grunrock spits on Velocis' feet, and Velocis spits on Grunrock's head.
My shoes.
This is the only hat I have.
It's all right. You'll get used to spinning the more time you spend around town. But anyway, so Zertorm has tasked me with finding a third party, someone not affiliated with either of the clans, to carry out this holy ceremony, as it is ultimately just a series of rote steps that must be carried out. I will perform the proper incantations, but this will help to ensure that we do not show favoritism to one of the clans and anger those petty Galdanes.
We don't have.
Stop spitting on my shoes.
Stop spitting on my hat.
We don't have anything to be concerned about with regard to the ceremony. No sacrifices or anything like that.
No sacrifices at all. I can tell you a bit about the ceremony, and perhaps you could elect one of the three of you to carry it out.
After he tells us.
Yeah, I don't think Vergello really wants to. I'd totally love to.
What? Can you please tell us more about the ceremony?
The ceremony symbolizes the pearl harvest with a giant polished stone, which will be provided to us by Zertorm. It must be rolled to the riverside. Fires must be lit around it, and then it must be laved with water from the river 3 times using a holy ladle. And the proper hymns must be spoken, which I will take care of. You hardly need to know anything about our religious rites in order to carry this out, but it must be done respectfully and with decorum, so that the river gods are not offended, and so that Horn may consort with them to explain to them the importance of our tribes thriving to the betterment of the natural world. Do you understand?
Could I hear some of these hymns, just so I won't be surprised as soon as someone starts speaking?
I suppose, yes. Amen. He goes off singing. It is in an ancient language and tradition of the Galdanes. It seems very strange and foreign to you, and he gets very, very into it.
Okay, so strange and foreign, but I'm not getting any, like,
Similar
whoever
vibes.
this is someone casting some sort of spell.
No. He tells you to be honest, they are just adapted versions of traditional Galdane songs. Some modifications have been made according to the prophet's wisdom in order to accommodate this particular ceremony. When he says the prophet, he seems to be referring to Zertorm.
Will we have a chance to ask Zertorm a couple questions before the ceremony begins?
I believe he will be observing the ceremony, but I do not know. He
will be in observance, but he won't be like assisting in the performance.
No, he will not be assisting in the. He has entrusted that to me and the Quard clan because he honors us most highly.
But of course, well,
and you should not be
who is
fooled
he
by the
going to
Galdanes
honor?
telling you otherwise. We are the clan that he honors
Could
most highly.
Could we perhaps have a conversation with him? Should we agree to the ceremony? As outsiders, we're just very curious of
He has
the area
asked me to prepare the ceremony and to recruit a suitable third party to the cause, but he has stated that he will be in attendance to the ceremony, but if you wish to speak to him beforehand, you might have to visit the castle and petition an audience with him.
That's okay. I'm sure that while Vergello is doing the ceremony, I will try and stand next to him I will stand next to him and maybe try and ask a quick question or two.
I think that sounds
So as not to
great.
inconvenience him.
You may approach him if you wish, of course.
2 birds, 1...
I recommend doing so respectfully. He is a prophet of
Oh.
Horn himself.
Oh, but of course. I never do anything without great respect.
You should practice your bow right now.
My bow?
Should you
Yes.
approach him with dishonor? Or with
Dishonor on you, dishonor on your car.
dishonor on me, dishonor on the Quards, dishonor on everybody but the Galdanes. Yes. He basically petitions you to approach Zertorm with great decorum and honor so that you do not bring dishonor on the Quard clan for him having chosen you to carry out the ceremony. He also asks which of the 3, he just totally discards Grinralk out of hand, which of the 3 of you would be best suited to carrying out such a sacred ceremony.
I will volunteer myself.
I think Vergello might be the best bet. No offense, Ayan.
Nope, no offense taken.
All right.
I really wanted to do the rock ceremony.
We'll do our own rock
I'm-
ceremony when we
I'm-
leave town.
I'm serious,
Okay.
Velas. I'd like to see that you could bow to someone else.
And who would you assume that I would bow to?
Me, on taking on this great honor.
You know what, Vergello?
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
Right. All right. So, he says, very well then.
To
We
the
will
glory
need
of
some time
Horn.
to rehearse the steps and prepare, and we only have a few hours until the ceremony. So, I thank you for being so willing to carry on this holy task. I assure you, you will be rewarded if you carry out this task. You may stay in our town, specifically in the Quard camp.
No, I was like, we're doing that.
No.
Right
You may
now.
stay in the town free of charge. We will host you for as long as you wish to stay before moving on in your travels, and you will also be rewarded with gifts of ceremonial incense and the undying support of our people.
That sounds delightful.
Yeah,
Could
that
we
sounds-
resell the incense for money?
Yeah.
Why would we
may,
want to
but-
do that?
But it is
It's for the glory of Horn.
for the glory of Horn. That is right. I
See,
like this
you
goblin.
messed up.
after
You
all.
didn't pick me.
Are
Your
you?
feet would get stuck in the riverbed.
He looks at Grunrock. He says, "Are you with the broken spears, little goblin? The falling spears. Sorry, the falling spears. You know the goblins that live in the volcano nearby."
No, I'm not. But I have family over there.
Oh, good. Well, Horn's blessings upon you and your family.
Horn's
also with
blessings
you.
upon you and yours.
All right. So we carry on with the ceremony. So for Gello, he's gonna take you to rehearse for the next hour or two.
If you guys kill my player character, I'm gonna cry on stream.
There's a little time gap if anybody wants to do anything in preparation before things go down, but they're gonna basically abduct Vergello and drag him off, and a crowd of people are gonna usher him from place to place and be teaching him steps of the ceremony and the proper.
What's funny
things
is
to
I didn't
say.
even get to do anything the other day because I was dragging around the boar selling stuff.
Yeah.
You guys owe me.
Hey,
I'm just asking if people have things they want to do before we get to ceremony time, or if we want to fast forward to that.
I kind of want to ask, hey, Dahlia, when everything gets started, can you keep a lookout for golden-eyed individuals in the crowd?
Yes, of course.
I have a feeling he's going to keep his eyes on the 4 of us. He might not notice you as quickly.
Right. I understand.
I just want to know how close he gets to our masked friend, the Prophet.
I see. Yes, I will be keeping a lookout for him. To be
Thank
honest, I have been seeing yellow eyes in my nightmares at night, and I am very much on the alert for anyone that could be that shape-shifting meddler, whatever he's
Sorry
up
to
to.
lay this on you.
It's all right. It's all right. I'm watching for him anyway. I'm watching for him day and night, whether we're here or elsewhere.
That's fair.
All right.
His daughter was not too pleased about him being present, so something tells me he's not up to anything good in that castle.
His what? Fast forward.
Oh, yeah.
You fill her in.
Before the ceremony,
Yes.
I'm gonna go to I always want to say Anthea, and that's not her name. Anatha's house.
Anatha. Yes.
Yeah, I'm just gonna give it like a quick knock. Let's see if she comes.
The door is open. She's. Yeah. You again. What?
Thanks.
She's holding her head.
I
She's like, step inside. The sun is so bright.
I completely agree. I'm gonna step in and close the door behind me.
Her house is covered in blood. And there's scorch marks on the ground. In a circular shape on the floor. There's like a scorched circle in the middle of the floor. The house is very disheveled. And there's empty bottles strewn about. Alcohol bottles.
Perfect.
She also has quite a few shiny things hanging up in here. Jewelry
I
and
know
things.
the urge. I'm sure I am scanning it like a hawk.
Even while extremely hungover, she's like, don't.
I haven't done anything yet.
Good. Keep it that way.
Did your father leave you any money for any food or any recompense of any kind? I imagine he's here somewhere.
Are you concerned about my finances?
Seeing as how you like to spend it on things, remind me, what do you like to spend it on?
Why are you here?
Before I answer, show me your hand.
Hang on. She walks across to the fireplace. She dabs her finger in it a bit, rubs it around in the black soot. She
Shows me to.
draws a symbol without any further discussion.
Coolio. I would like to hear more about your job. You look a bit on the hungover part, and I actually have plans because I didn't get wasted and then stare at a river and then up at the sky and then stumble home. No judgment. I've done it before in the past. You need to get some rest. I've got places to be, but I need money, and I'm down with stealing some shiny shit. Some shiny shit.
All right.
And as tempting as all of this on the wall is, I won't take from you.
It's very simple. Pelacus of Horn, High Priest of the Quard clan. This is, by the way, the guy that just talked to you.
The guy I literally just talked to. Yeah. What you want?
He has a silver ring on his hand set with a fine ruby. It's a family heirloom. And it's sacred to the clan. Find it, bring it to me. I will pay you half its full value and admit you into the Thieves Guild.
I'll see what I can do. Get some rest, have some food. I'll turn and walk out.
Breathe a word of this, and you will be hunted to the ends of the earth.
Listen, the amount of people hunting me right now, I should be afraid. But life's not fun like that. And I'll close the door.
All right, you're out. Anything else before we fast forward to ceremony time? All right. We're close to ceremony time when something significant happens. Where's everybody? So the ceremony is being held by the river, by the docks in the area to the north of the bridge. There's a gathering of people around. It's mostly Quards, and a handful of Asleans have Galdanes have curiously walked up and are gathering in the crowd to view what is going on. You all see Vergello standing somewhere out here in the hills. He's standing by a huge, 5-foot diameter, polished, spherical stone that a bunch of quards are fawning over and stroking and chanting things in preparation for the ceremony. And it's not quite time for it to start yet. Each of you can state roughly where you are. Are you all just waiting in the crowd by the river, or is anybody anywhere else?
I am wherever is kind of closer to where I think Zortorm might come in from. I'm trying to keep.
Well, if he's in the
I'm not
castle,
so
that'll
far
be
in-
down the main road, so I'll put you over here.
Okay.
Are the citizens keeping an eye on us because of the murmurs of strangers around that town? Or are we
Everybody's
just
always
kind of
eyeing you a
blending in?
little bit strangely. There's not that many outsiders in town.
Then I will keep close to any party members that are staying in the crowd.
Okay. You're standing in
I'll
the
stay
crowd
close to Ayan.
by the docks because there seems to be a gathering there waiting for the ceremony to happen, and word seems to be spreading locally, and the Galdanes are slowly gathering, kind of going like, what is this
I'll stay
ceremony
close to
that's going
Ayan and try and get on top of something so I can see.
Sounds good. Ayan, you feel a hand grab the back of your upper arm from behind, as though to get your attention.
Yep, I look around.
You are eye to eye with Marigal.
I just stare
Yellow eyes. My friend,
and tilt my head.
you've
Hello
decided
again.
you've decided to attend the sacred ceremony of the Quard Asleens?
I heard you were in town. Yes, we're here.
It's good to see you again. May I speak to
You
you
as
in
well.
private? May we take a brief walk before the ceremony?
How long before the ceremony starts?
He looks up at the sky and he says, "We have a few minutes."
Of course. I'll go talk with you.
All right, he's going to drag you away from the rest of the party and get you walking
I'm
down
already
the road.
away from the party.
He'll drag you down the road towards the bridge and be talking to you while he goes.
The first thing I say before he gets a chance is, I've heard a lot of horrible rumors about you. Mainly from your daughter, is that you're untrustworthy and that we should stay away from you. So,
Well,
if I seem a little distant this time,
it's
That's
all
why.
right. It's all right. I understand your distrust, and you are correct to be skeptical. It is my earnest belief that if one is not making some enemies in the world, one is not doing anything meaningful. I certainly have those out there that would tarnish my good name, but I assure you, I wish you no harm, and I wish only to provide you with information to help you on your quest. And I have learned some things that concern you.
so I think this will be the first time that I'm doing an insight check against
Sure.
him.
Yeah,
I think
go
I
ahead.
believed him every other time.
Josh, I'm gonna try and make myself scarce. I would ideally like to
You
see.
see them coming up the road, and you want to do a stealth check?
Mm-hmm. I didn't want to interrupt. I went ahead and rolled it.
Okay.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Where is it? Where's my... Did I roll?
Yeah, you just did.
Ah.
Damn, that's a lot of dice, man. That sucks.
This seems important. I'd like
Push
to
it.
push it.
Push it. Get some
I
more
just re-roll
power.
again, right?
Yep.
Yep.
Because there's no skulls.
All
Oh, bud.
So here's what's going on. Ayan, he seems earnest to you, but you're still uncertain. You
Sure.
just can't get... You're looking at him, and you're like, if this guy's up to something, he's just stone cold about it. And Velas, they walk past you on the road, and you are hidden, so you're going to overhear a portion of this conversation. I will tell you when the portion that you overhear comes by.
Okay.
Okay. He's walking along the road with you. He says, I he says, I assure you, I wish to help you and your friends. I find you to be an honorable group, and I wish to help you find your way in the world using what resources are at my disposal. I like to create allies wherever I can. Perhaps it is no secret that I am an influential man and that I have many connections and many contacts in the world, but I wish only for what is best for the realm. And you and your friends out here traveling the lands, uncovering ancient mysteries and finding a path for yourselves, you seem to be in the business of making things better wherever you go. And I wish to be an asset to you in the ways that I can. And I hope that over time I am able to earn your trust.
I think some of us are trying to make the world a better place. But with regard to you saying that you're making alliances with people, is the Prophet here one of those alliances?
Yes. Zertorm stands against the armies of the Dark One, and he wishes to gather the strength to do what is necessary to purge these worlds of the evils that plague them.
There's some unsettling rumors of demonic minotaurs and his hand in wild flaming boars. Can you speak to that?
I cannot. He has many servants that have gathered to his cause, and whether he has come upon them by dark paths or not, I cannot say. But they are loyal to him, and I believe they will see him through to doing good work on these lands in the end.
What about his...
You're now walking past Velost. She's going to catch everything until further notice. Neither of you see her. Unless you want to make a scouting roll to try to get a crazy good roll.
Yeah, I think I would.
You're going to need at least 2 successes on scouting roll.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're walking down the road. Anyway, you were saying.
Is it Zartoro? I'm sorry, I'm getting confused.
Zertorm.
Zertorm.
Zertorm. What about his allegiance with the Rust Brothers, or?
No, he opposes the Rust Brothers with his dying breath.
Oh. Okay.
The Rust Brothers are servants of... He looks around. His father.
That's right. And have you seen his face? He always wears a mask. How can we be sure that it's actually him?
I must say I cannot. He wears it day and night, but I know that the mask he wears is of traditional Asleen make, and I believe he wants to project a strong visage of leadership and of their traditional culture to them, so that they are comfortable swearing their allegiance to him, because he knows that he will ultimately need them to stand against the one that has wronged them so much in the past. I all due respect, I do have my own business, and the ceremony is coming quickly upon us. I must share some news with you. And
Okay.
he turns and looks at you, eye to eye, in the street, and he puts a hand on each of your shoulders. And he says, and I am happy to say it is joyous news indeed. Your master, Kareth Fenlar, yet lives.
I'm frozen.
I have received word, and he is, as far as I know, very much alive, at least since the events that you told me about, much more recent than that. And I'm happy to tell you more, but he gives you a giant hug, unprompted. And then he backs up and looks at you, and he has tears rolling down his face. There is hope yet that you may be reunited.
Okay, I'm just in shock, so I don't have anything to say.
Okay.
I got a success on an insight roll.
Okay.
And you said I was listening.
Yeah.
You want to text
Velas,
me or?
you don't pick up any deception here.
Okay.
We love it.
He he then puts his arm around your shoulder and says, "Please, let me tell you about it." And he takes you walking across the bridge, and now you go out of earshot of Velas.
Okay.
He says, I have received from a trustworthy source to the west that your master was attacked in the wilderness by bloodlings, creatures that emerge from the blood mist and feast upon those unwary travelers who are unfortunate enough to stumble in it, but that he was able to barely ward them off with the use of his magic by taking control of the mind of a bear and calling it forth to attack the demon and maul it and send it running off into the blood mist with his mighty magic. And sadly, he was injured in the process, and he limped his way southward and ever southward more for almost a day before he was rescued. And he's looking directly into your eyes, and he says, "But I'm sad to say he was found by the Bone Ferrets, the Slavers Guild. They took him and shipped him off to Grindbone, where they traffic their captured servants and sell them off to the highest bidder." He's gazing directly into your eyes while telling you this story.
Thank you, my friend, for all of this. It's a lot to take in. I know that my mentor is mentally strong and that he's still of sound mind right now. I'll have to take some time to think about this. But again, thank you.
Please. And he puts a hand on your shoulder again and looks directly into your eyes. He says, "Hear me in this. You can hardly blame yourself for running away. It's an all too natural instinct to want to preserve one's own life. Perhaps if you were to find your master, he would even consider forgiving you for your transgression. It is a hard thing to fail those that we love, but unfortunately it is something that many of us must live with. And consider this, he's still alive. And though he may be suffering, and likely is, there is hope. Just imagine the despair you would be feeling without that hope, the despair that has followed you all of this time. Why, without it, you might not have anything to live for at all." And he looks down into the river and says, "Were I in your shoes, knowing that your master was dead, I might cast myself into the river and be done with it. But you, my friend, are so fortunate. You have something to live for. Hold on tight to that hope. Let it carry you forward." And he puts a hand on each of your shoulders and says, "This is a joyous day for you, friend."
His words break me. Although he expects hope, the feeling of regret is stronger than ever. And so I begin to sob and go to my knees.
It's all right. And he throws his arms around you. And a moment later, he pushes back from you, and you hear a distant like a horn being blown. And he looks you in the eyes. His eyes are glowing a brighter yellow than they were before, and he's breathing heavily, and he says, "It's time for the ceremony. Let's be on with it." And he goes marching off south across the bridge.
I follow.
Okay. You make your way back to the clearing. We are going to wrap shortly here. Bill. Bill.
Yes.
There's a
Gorilla
heavy
gotta push a
spherical stone, and you have to push it. You've been briefed. You know the steps, and you can tell me if you follow the steps or if you deviate in any way. But the steps are that while you have a mob of Quard Aslines dancing around you and chanting to the stone in a language that you don't understand, you are to shoulder into it and push the whole thing, which is very heavy, but it's very smooth and spherical, and this is mostly downhill. You are to push it downhill towards the side of the river while they follow along with you. And should it get away from you, they will help you by pushing it back and making sure that it doesn't go rolling down off into a building or something. When you get to the river, you are to recite a few words in the tongue of the Aslines, which petition the river gods for their blessing. And you are to call out the name Horn 3 times, while 3 times ladling water from the river using a big sacred silver spoon onto this big spherical rock. You say horn and you ladle, you say horn and you ladle, and you say horn and you ladle. And there should be a light from the heavens that blesses the ceremony and shows you that the pearl harvest will be a good one this year. I skipped a step. After you roll it down to the side of the river, but before the ladling, they're going to build a small fire around and under it. Invoking fire, which is the sacred fire is the sacred substance of the volcano god Horn. So they're going to engulf this thing in flame, and then you're going to ladle water onto it.
And why are we petitioning a volcano god for a good pearl harvest in a river? Is there not like a river god we could have asked?
Your understanding is that this is a ceremony to introduce Horn to the river gods so that they may converse on peaceful terms and declare ensure a bountiful harvest for the tribes of volcano worshipping riders here who are dependent on the river for their well-being and survival.
Okay, so I'm a middleman, sort of.
You're a
setting up
middleman
negotiations.
introducing Horn to the river gods using a series of incantations that will ensure that the river gods cooperate with Horn to bless his people with a good river harvest.
Sounds like a great way to get possessed by a demon. I'm on it.
Cool. All right, so your friends have gathered in the crowd, and you can see all of them down at the base of the hill, and you begin pushing the rock along. You derail me if you want to do anything along the way. But all right, so you're going to push this big, heavy, it's like a 5-foot diameter, smooth gray stone that you are rolling down the hill from the north towards the edge of the river. You're pushing it through town. When you get to the flatter areas near the docks, you start having to really shoulder into it, and it's running you out of breath, but you can see the end in sight, and so it's not going to require any strength checks.
Thank goodness.
What is your strength stat?
3.
Okay, so you have typical, maybe it's pretty good strength, so you're able to do this without embarrassing yourself. So you push it down to the side of the river, and you are getting down there. Everyone there's no scouting rolls required for this. By the way, Marigal is still standing alongside Ayan. The two of you are joining the ceremony together. Across the river on the rocks, you hear a roar just echoing out, just this high-pitched screeching roar, and you look across, and you see a figure across there. It is a humanoid figure wearing a mask, riding on the back of a great lizard-like creature that is also wearing a mask, and it is actually identical to the cover art that was the background art of the stream when we first started. It's the cover art to one of the books.
cool.
It is Zertorm upon Pyravia, his mount. I will show the image of it in a sec. I don't have it ready to go. If any of you have it handy, you can share it in the chat. But
Oh, that's
this
sick.
is... Hold on. It's the cover art for the player's handbook or the GM guide?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's already in the chat.
It's in the group
Okay.
chat.
Yeah. I'll pop it up on the stream in a minute for everybody else, but I'll narrate for now and then pop it up before we wrap. But anyway, you see him there in a mask in his ornate garb, riding on the back of this lizard that is crawling along on the rocks on the far side of the river, letting out a roar, and he nods as though in approval, and then you see the priests continue on with the ceremony, and he's watching from across the river on the back of his great lizard.
From across the river.
From across the river,
Like,
he is watching.
Over here?
Yeah, standing on the rocks on his mount, which can walk up sheer rocky cliffs. He is watching from over there. And
This
Him.
bastard.
Yeah.
and
That's why
and
we need to not share with Josh.
I did not change this. This is just how it's going. So I'm not just trying to complicate your lives here. If you want to go sneaking off right now, you
No,
can. If Amy wants to go sneaking
to
off,
me,
you
it
can.
didn't make sense that he was just going to show up in the crowd.
Mhm.
Like this, to him being over there makes more sense to me.
Well, I would have stayed over here waiting for him to show up.
Yeah, that's right. You were along the road waiting for him to show up. So if you want to try to cross the bridge while shit's going on, you can be stealthing along.
Yeah, how long would it... I mean, will the ceremony be over before I can get
It's
anywhere
very
near
hard
there?
to say. You're not the one that
But-
knows the ceremony inside and out, but you can just start going.
I
if you wanna
will
get over there.
start, yeah.
Go ahead.
Um,
We'll assume you're marching, and then we'll jump back to it. So in the meantime, the ceremony's continuing, and they're assembling a fire around the base of the rock. Yeah, you're in broad daylight, and you're very aware of it. Do you want to push that?
Yeah.
You're like, shit, people are looking at me. People can see me. Then you're like, I gotta act cool. I gotta act like I'm not doing anything.
No willpower, but a fuck ton of successes.
And then you're like, and when everybody stops paying attention to you, you like hit the floor and start crawling across the bridge. And everybody's eyes seem to be locked on the ceremony, including from across the river. And you're able to slip across the bridge relatively undetected to this side of the river. And even the Quard guards that are patrolling the road on this side of the river are mostly lined up along the cliff watching the ceremony from a distance.
Is
while
Aimee
keeping
gonna
their
do it
posts.
again?
And so she's getting over here. Your guy is like right out here somewhere. So
Get up there first.
right. So you're creeping along there. Bill, back to you. They are building a fire under this big stone, and they're piling lumber around the bottom of it and lighting it up and chanting to horn. It's very similar to what you heard at the bonfire rituals earlier. I don't remember if you were one of the people that saw those, but it's very
The
similar.
first one I did.
Okay. It's very similar to the bonfire rituals. They're chanting a lot of the same things that you heard, some of them in the common tongue, some of them in their traditional language. And you see hands and faces and things darting up the sides of the stone, shooting up on all sides of it. And then at some point, Palakis, the high priest, turns to you and nods to indicate that it is your time to do the ladling and the shouting out of the name Horn 3 times.
Has he started his hymns?
Yes, he's singing the hymns while you do the
Okay.
labeling.
And it's the same thing that he was singing earlier.
It is. He has not deviated
Okay.
from the script that you discussed and agreed to.
I'm sticking to the script because I'm basically the distraction.
Okay, so you are
No, you
going
don't.
to the edge of the water, and you are dipping this big silver ladle into the water, and then you walk back to the stone and you ladle the water onto it, and it is heated up, so it is steam rising off of it with the first ladle, and you stay. Do you say the name Horn?
Yeah.
You say the name Horn, and then you return to the river for your second ladling. Meanwhile, Aimee, you are getting up to the edge of the water.
Yes.
You are at this corner here. And
Where's...
I
he's out
here?
here on the cliff, yeah.
Can I get up like here and then just like
Make a
make my
climb
way
roll.
down?
This is a what is the check? It falls under one of the skills.
Is it just move?
It's move, yeah. It's move to climb. That's right.
I have a rope. Is there like anything that I can like try and like lasso to like help myself at all?
You're trying to be sneaky, and it's mostly a matter of being.
So no.
It's mostly a matter of a move check to get up the cliff and be quiet while
Okay.
doing it. So
You're
you're losing your grip.
I'm gonna push it. Fuck.
2 successes. All right. You make your way up the side of the cliff. You almost slip, but you keep your
Take
grip,
damage.
and you're now somewhere up here. You're very close to Zertorm, who is on the back of his big lizard mount.
You're gonna
And
get eaten.
second
That puts me at
ladling happens.
3 willpower.
You say
Vergella
horn?
was gonna say something a second ago.
Oh, sorry. What were you?
I was just gonna ask if, since I'm over by the river looking across, if I could. I knew Aimee was trying to find him. If I could spot Aimee anywhere, or sorry, Veloz anywhere.
If
I
you know
literally
that
have-
she's looking for him, you can make a check. I think everybody else, she's too far away, and there's no reason to be looking over there rather than at the giant rock and the steam and the fire and everything.
Yeah,
so,
it's.
but if you're
more
looking
so
for her,
because-
you can, make a
Because I
scout roll.
see him over there, and I'm like, well, Veloz was gonna go to him.
Yeah.
Like, is she anywhere? Like, I'm just like looking
You're
around,
gonna
like,
need
is she
2
anywhere?
successes on a scout roll to notice her across the river.
Yeah, it's.
But
it's
you can make an
not-
attempt since you know that she's up to something and trying to get close to him.
Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness!
You see her over there,
Can
and
you
you do the second ladling. Do you say horn?
Can you take one of my pain?
Huh?
Can you take one of my damages?
No.
Or are you just looking
no,
for them?
that's like a performance. I can't.
Oh shit.
All right.
No
That
worries.
was a good
Second
idea.
ladle is complete. You're down to the third ladling to complete the ritual. You will have to water onto it and say the word horn in order to complete your part of the ritual.
I do that.
All right. He's going to do
no,
it.
you-
And Aimee, what are you doing?
I'm gonna move. If he's down here, I'm gonna move to be about here.
He's
And
You're like close to him.
you're very close to him coming up behind him, and he's focused on the ritual, and he doesn't seem to see you.
Oh, okay.
He's a short distance away, standing on a lower rock than you. You're maybe 15 feet away, hunkered on a rock. He doesn't seem to know that you're there. You're now close enough that the lizard he's riding on is fucking massive and terrifying, and you see little sparks coming out when it exhales. You can smell the thing, you can hear its breathing, and you can see him on top of it with his cloak and his mask, and you can hear him going.
okay, before I get into this, Josh,
Yeah.
my plan is to use my 3rd level Path of the Killer.
Uh-huh.
And to do that, I'll copy and paste it into the chat. I have to speak to the opponent for a few minutes. So you just got to give me some kind of signal.
Then you can't be
When I
hidden
get
from
there.
him. You're gonna have to.
No, I'm
he's
going to have to
know
call
you're
out to him from here.
All right. So do you want to wait until the ceremony's done, or do you want to do that now?
Nope, I'm going to do it now.
Okay, go ahead. What do you say to him? Because he is focused on the ceremony across the river.
You know, when they told me that you were coming to this ceremony, I had hoped that I'd get to meet you and perhaps do this more calmly. Hello,
He's gonna
I'm Veloz.
draw a super long sword. Who are you?
I just told you, sir. I am Veloz. And I'll take my hood off and so he can see my ears. I'm full elven, just like you.
Uh-huh.
He's Elven Spring.
You get no feedback
He's
because
Elven-
he's wearing a mask.
Oh yeah, he's
so-
supposed to be Elven Spring. That's right.
Yeah.
I have heard such magnificent things about you. To be quite honest, it's quite curious how you could live so long through so much. And I wanted to seek counsel with you, but then I heard that you were going to be at the ceremony. And so I was just a little confused when you were across the way with the water. But I thought, I don't need to seek counsel if I can speak with him just for a few moments here. I didn't mean to frighten you.
One sec. I just want to get this
Deferential
right.
enough.
1 sec.
I think.
Trying to.
Uh-huh.
She's trying to
evened
be
out.
respectful. She evened
Yeah,
out,
yeah,
Joe.
listen.
Are you proud of her, Joe?
Trying not to get
We
stabbed in the
can leave
chin.
this town now.
Okay. All right.
You got the drop on this man.
Yeah, that was some good movement too.
All right.
Yeah, it hurt me, but it also gives me willpower, which I need. So
Okay.
I'm pretty sure I have to like sing a song to heal you.
I thought she might, but I was like, maybe he doesn't. Maybe it's just like an innate ability.
Okay. Sorry to leave you in suspense. I'm trying
No.
to get this right.
You're good, buddy. If I'm gonna die, I want to do it with honor and correct.
This is
I
a
don't think your
ruthless
character
game.
can die.
She just turned into a rock, and one of us could wear her around our neck for the rest of forever.
I can come back to life. You don't have to wear me as a rock.
Nope. I want the Velociraptor necklace.
Okay. He is tilting his head, but you don't see any facial expression because he's wearing a mask. Meanwhile, across the river, Bill is ladling, and the final ladle is raised. And Bill, you say horn.
It's Horn!
You're a little startled.
Volcano god.
You're a little startled, Bill, when suddenly there's a loud and a crack appears in the stone,
Uh-oh, that's an egg.
and the crack starts traveling down the stone, splitting it in two, and then you see the crack spreading and spreading, and there seems to be something from inside breaking its way out of the stone, which is heated at the bottom and glowing a bit with fire, and at the top it's splitting apart, and it keeps moving every
I wanna get
couple
in
of
front of
seconds
Dahlia.
and slowly cracking. Dahlia's taking a step back. A bunch of people
Yeah,
in the
I'm
crowd are taking a
moving
step
away.
back, and
I'm
some people are just
I'm
in
getting between
trance.
Dahlia and the egg thingy.
Velas. Zertorm tilts his head and says, "Does it seem wise to disturb me at this time, Velasthil elf?" This would be the time to pull the trigger on your thing if you want to try to talk into making a thing happen.
Yes.
Friendly.
If he is all the way in, like I can, like I feel like I've talked to him long enough that I can do it.
You've given him a little preamble. You got a conversation going. You can go ahead and make your thing.
I'm gonna I'm gonna turn and glance over his shoulder and look and see if the person is looking in this direction.
The person?
The priestess woman who wanted to see him without a mask.
Oh, you have no idea where the hell she is.
Fuck.
Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. She's here and looking. Let her
I
in.
mean, she better be. We asked her like, "Hey,
She
when's
said
he
to
doing
do
his
it in
next
public.
event?"
Yeah, then he wasn't where you expected, and Velas stealthed off. But you don't know where she is, so you gotta
Let
do
her
it or
in.
not.
Do it.
Beyblade.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say, I'm not entirely certain. I would perhaps be able to read you a little better if you were to take off your mask.
Does he get any opportunity to resist this, given normal
No.
game rules? How much
According to the
willpower does it
description,
count?
it doesn't seem
According
like
to
it.
the description, no. As long as it's not causing him to hurt himself.
All
That is
right. Yeah. What's the willpower cost of this?
it's only one willpower.
All right, you expend a willpower.
I do.
Why would I want to do that? And he pulls his mask off and casts it aside. Several things happen at once here.
Oh God! Here we go.
You know, I'm gonna be that guy and end the session.
Oh no!
The egg is cracking. The mask is off. We're gonna pick it up right here when we come back next.
You just
time.
called it an egg.
Yeah,
That's
you
really
can all
good. I mean,
wait.
it is an egg. What are you talking
I
about?
called it an egg.
Oh, it's an
so
egg.
he might just be copying.
It's an
me.
egg.
Let's go boo him.
If nothing else, you
Yeah,
figured out that
God.
it's an egg in the last 10 seconds.
That's a good
Yeah.
cliffhanger.
All right, so we're gonna leave it there. I'm gonna do the experience thing, and we'll wrap it for the session there.
Oh my god.
All right, give me a minute to get the experience thing pulled up, and we'll go from there.
Oh, you're good, buddy. Oh my god. Gee.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh,
by spending a
wow.
willpower, you can force your victim to perform a specific action at a time of your choosing. You must speak for a few minutes. Can't force them to hurt themselves.
Yeah.
We're gonna
I mean,
have
it's
a
a
hard
level-
time restoring
it's a
the
level 3
emotional
talent.
high at the start of the next session. We're gonna need
It's
to
okay.
get like.
No, I'm
She's
gonna
gonna
come
be-
in and be like,
She's going to be on edge for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Trust me.
No, we're gonna have to start the next session with like a ramp up. Like, here's what happened. Everybody take 10 deep breaths.
My new pride is going to be I'm great at following ceremonies to the T.
Ceremonial. All right. So, did you participate in the game session? 1 XP if you did. Boom. Everybody gets it. Did you travel through a hex? No. Did you discover a new adventure site? No. Did you defeat one or more monsters? No. Did you find a treasure worth of gold or more? No. Did you build a function on
This
your
egg-
stronghold? No. Did you activate your pride? No. Did you suffer from your dark secret? Wait.
Joe.
Joe?
Joe.
I don't know what Joe's secret is.
I mean,
He didn't explicitly
What-
suffer in game rules terms, but it got heavy for him. And he
Yeah.
had to roleplay it, so I'll give him the XP for that. His dark secret came into the story, and he had to roleplay it, and it was heavy, so he gets an XP. Did you risk your life for another PC?
I mean, I'm in the middle of this egg ceremony that we all knew was going to happen.
Yeah, but you didn't know that was going to be dangerous.
By what's his face, and we know that's dangerous.
Yeah, but you're not risking yourself for everyone.
I'm going
You-
no on everybody for this one. This is not explicitly you taking on personal risk to save another player character, or to protect them, or whatever, or to serve their...
Trying to make us mad money.
The closest person is probably Aimee for climbing out on a rock and just getting
I think
within
Aimee just needs. Yeah, Aimee should get the extravagant moment thing.
extraordinary action. We'll go with Aimee. She is
Yeah.
crawling across a rock towards like a pseudo potentially
Dragon
villainous creature and getting all in his face to try to get him to pull his mouth. Yeah, Aimee gets 1 for this. So everybody only gets like 1, 2, or 3 this session, but that'll do it. And
I think me and Grunrock got 1, and Ayan and Velas got 2.
yeah,
Yeah.
low XP session, but lots of plot development. You're in a safe town where you're not having to fight things or make survival rolls, and so there's that. But
Aimee, I don't think you're getting your armor.
Yeah.
Ever.
I think shit's about to hit the fan.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna loot the bodies of the asshole I paid for my armor.
all right. That'll do it. Thank you everyone for watching. We're gonna end this one on a cliffhanger. We're gonna be resuming in 2 weeks. Is everybody good for 2 weeks from now, which is the 15th?
The
Yes.
day after Valentine's Day.
Oh,
How
the
romantic.
love will all be gone.
How
already.
romantic! Josh kills us all, and we end this campaign.
I gotta give some thought to the situation here. There's a lot of shit going down at once. Aimee is right up in there. So we start the next session right where we left off. We will be playing on February the 15th. I promised last time I would post the schedule on YouTube, and I didn't, but I am totally going to this time for realsies. This time, but
For
we
reals.
will play 2 weeks from today on February the 15th at about 6:45 Eastern time is when we usually get going.
Depending on Discord glitches.
Yeah. Thank you again, Sirenscape, for the audio, which I stopped using halfway through the session. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Please follow and so that we can get to 50 followers and be able to post our damn schedule on Twitch. Freaking
Yeah.
Twitch.
Subscribe on YouTube. Check us out.
We post all these play-by-plays on YouTube. We also have videos about other stuff that's RPG and game related, so check us out there.
Yeah.
Like, subscribe, follow, watch, and everybody have a lovely night. And I will see you all
Bye,
next time.
everyone.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.